Thanks for tuning into episode 16 of the Unlockable podcast, guys. This is your May 2021 episode, and today Hannah and I are talking about the sequels of our favorite Nintendo franchises and what we want to see from them. We kind of discuss our experience with the latest entry in a series and then branch off into what kind of features we would absolutely love to see in the next game, reasonable or not. We threw all of our wants in here. And hey, for our June episode, you can probably expect it to be out around the middle of the month. We're going to be covering our thoughts on E3, so be on the lookout for that. Anyways, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast wherever you're listening to this. Give us a like, and let's go. Hey, welcome back to the Unlockable podcast. I'm your host, Christian, and joining me as always is the Game Girl Advance SP herself.
Hello.
Hannah, what you been up to?
Not a whole lot. I think last time I said it was summer, so I didn't move back in with my parents, but I'm down here in hot-ass Florida with my parents for summer, and nothing much, really just taking it easy. Got nothing to do, no school. What about you?
I'm not doing a whole lot, and I've just been working. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you soon, because you're coming to Texas.
Yes, I literally leave in 2 days. Woohoo!
Yeah, so we're going to do some game hunting down here. I've got some routes planned out for us. We're going to do a little garage sailing. It's going to be great.
Are you going to make me wake up at like 6 a.m.?
No, it's going to be like 7.
Oh, good. 7? Okay. That's not so bad.
All right. So, Hannah, what have you been buying lately?
Yeah, well, you might as well just take my gamer card here. But, the only thing that I've bought is a Switch game called Human Fall Flat, which is, I'm pretty sure we talked about it. It was a super rare game, by the company Super Rare. But then I guess they just released the rights back to the guy, and so now I have a copy of it. But obviously not super rare and not associated with them at all. But yeah, I bought it. It was $20 at Best Buy, and it looked really interesting, and I was kind of kicking myself for not buying it from Super Rare. So yeah, that's all I got.
It's just a standard release?
It's a standard release. It's like the anniversary edition or something. I think that's what it's called.
They had to throw something on there, some kind of edition on there.
Yeah.
To make it make sense. Well, that's interesting. And I remember you talking about it.
That's it. That's all I bought. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, but I'm used to it. Next episode, after you get back from Texas, hopefully you'll be able to talk about like the 50 games you found garage sailing and you had to stuff them in your luggage bag.
Oh, I hope so. Like a Sealed Fire Emblem or like any kind of GameCube game now.
Yeah, Madden on GameCube, we'll take it.
Yes.
I bought one Dreamcast game. It's called Bust a Move 4. I remember a few months ago I sold a bunch of my Dreamcast games because they were missing the manual, and I just got a pretty darn good deal on Bust a Move 4, so that one looks much better on the shelf now.
Bust a Move.
I guess all you see on the shelf is the spine, so maybe that wasn't the right thing to say, but it looks better off the shelf now.
Mm-hmm.
Game Boy Advance, I got Altered Beast, Pink Panther, Flintstones, and Zelda: A Link to the Past, all complete in box.
Pink Panther? For what?
It is, it's one of the most expensive games, I would say. It's up there for Game Boy Advance.
Really?
Same thing with Flintstones. It's pretty up there.
I
don't know what it is. I think most of the time when you see Hanna-Barbera titles, they are pretty low. I don't know. They don't seem to have gotten the largest print runs. But it kind of makes sense. I mean, Pink Panther, Flintstones, they're like 60s cartoons, and these games came out in the early 2000s, so not a lot of people were asking for them, I guess.
Yeah, what audience were they trying to target there?
GameCube, I've been working on the set a little. I got Aquaman, Phantasy Star Online 3, Freedom Fighters, The Sims, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, and Crash Nitro Kart.
Wow.
Couple of different lots on eBay.
Nice.
And hey, right after our last podcast, I kind of went and bought myself an Xbox kiosk casually. And yeah, I can't wait for you to see that when you come down.
I'm very excited. Do you have a screen for it yet?
No, I don't. I'm constantly on OfferUp and Craigslist just waiting for someone to say, hey, here's a free CRT. I'm leaving it on the curb.
Nice.
But yeah, pretty nice lamp at the moment until I can get a TV for it. Another thing I didn't write down, I got a second gun controller for the Xbox to play some House of the Dead on the kiosk when the time comes. So
I thought you were just gonna stop at gun. I was like, wow, that was the most Texas thing you could say. I got myself a second gun.
Yeah, I'm not a big truck driver. I don't have guns and chew tobacco and ride horses and whatnot. No.
You do wear boots and cowboy hats, though, right?
No. I bet not many people in Texas can say that they don't own a pair of boots, but I don't own a pair of boots.
Wow.
And I'm all right with that.
Alrighty then. Good to know.
Have you played anything?
Well, other than the occasional binge of RuneScape, yes, actually, me and you actually played Donkey Kong Country 3, and we freaking beat it the other day.
What a game, huh?
Oh my gosh. It was so frustrating when we were playing it, but, like, I'm still like, wow, I wish I could go back and play it again. I mean, I can, but, like, I don't know. I feel like the experience was way better playing with somebody else than alone.
My controller would not have survived if I was playing alone. I mean,
yeah.
So, like, we had some issues with the Nintendo Switch Online. For the most part, it was fine, but I don't know. There were some times where, like, things didn't line up on both of our screens. Mm-hmm. So, like if this isn't obvious, we're playing. She lives in Florida. I'm in Texas, and we're playing online. But you know, it might look like I died on her screen, but I was actually still playing, which is just kind of a weird thing. It's not the end of the world. We kept playing through it. It wasn't the end of the world, but it was weird. And then, what other problems did we have? Like the app was weird.
Yeah, like it wasn't like lag, but like anytime you did like save or like we'd go into a new level, it would like, I guess it would lag behind, but then it would say like, oh, there's no internet connection. But then it'd be fine during the level, so it was really odd. It like got confused.
And then, thank God we didn't have any problems on the final boss fight. That was a little stressful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
Good time though. And then we started another game, Breath of Fire, right?
Yes, it's also the Super Nintendo game, right?
Yeah, it is. So that we found out that you can actually play one-player games and just trade off the controller like online, and it's pretty cool. Just at any given time, you can hit the ZLZR and go to the menu and switch it off to me or you, and that's it's pretty cool.
That is super cool.
I'm happy that Nintendo included that.
We haven't really tried it yet, so we don't know how well it'll work, but it's a cool concept, cool idea.
Right. It's next on the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Me, though, I've been playing... What have I beaten? I beat Halo 2. I'm working through all the Halos like I mentioned last time. Did I beat anything else? I got Donkey Kong Country on here.
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom Hearts, that's what I was going to talk about. So last episode, I said that I was super close. And how many hours was I? Like 11?
Something like that, yeah.
So I was very much wrong. You were like, that doesn't sound right. You can't be done already. And you were right. Kingdom Hearts it probably took me like at least 20 hours in total. So I still had 8 or 9 more hours after I said I was.
Uh-huh.
And that was, I don't know. I don't think I'm a big Kingdom Hearts guy. Like, I'm glad that for my gaming honor, I've completed it. I've checked the box, and now I can say that I've done it. But I don't think I'll be playing any of the sequels.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And just to be clear, I was playing on the final mix, the 12.5 times 3 multiplied by, like all that nonsense. And I still just did not have the time of my life. But I don't know. We'll see.
Man,
maybe one day I'll play Kingdom Hearts 2.
You're going to make some Kingdom Hearts fans angry.
What else do we have? I beat Mario vs. Donkey Kong Mini Land Mayhem on the DS. It feels like a very long time ago, but I guess that's how it happens on a monthly podcast. Tetris Effect, highly recommend that game. I don't care who you are. That game was so freaking cool, and it was like, maybe 3 hours long. It's totally worth your 3 hours. Castlevania Bloodlines, I just beat the other night. I started playing Forza Horizon 4. That game is a blast. And I'm currently working on Trials of Mana as well. It's been a couple weeks, but the SNES online controller works with Trials of Mana, so that is super cool.
With the remake?
No, the trilogy, the collection of Mana.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That'd be crazy if it worked on the remake. Maybe it does.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make any sense, though.
Probably not.
Why don't you tell us about some news?
Okay. News. I don't have that much news here. There wasn't a lot of news recently, actually. So first, there is now a calculator app for the Switch, just in case you really wanted to do some math on the go. Don't know why you wouldn't use your phone, but yeah. Oh, and by the same company, there's also a xylophone app, and they're both $10. So if you really want to play some xylophone or calculate, some equations, you have those for the Switch now. And then this is more of a rumor than like news, but the rumor is the next Donkey Kong game is being developed by the Super Mario Odyssey team. Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
That's very exciting.
That's interesting.
I don't know why they would go with someone different than the people who did
Retro Studios.
Yeah, Tropical Freeze. But I don't know, whatever. That's exciting. The only other thing, I guess this is of note. Pokemon Snap is out since our last podcast. So you can snap.
Pick it up?
You can snap. No. I'm not nostalgic to the first one, so I don't think it was for people like me. Snapping pictures of Pokemon, that's cool if that's your thing, but it's not my thing.
It's not my thing in Pokemon Go, I can tell you that.
It doesn't even work half the time. Half the time it freezes my phone. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion. Nintendo shows off Mario Golf Super Rush. There's a speed golf and a battle royale mode, in a new trailer that they dropped on Twitter.
I did watch that, and I am not the type of person to buy very many games day one, but I think I'm going to pick that up day one.
Are you really?
I'm looking forward to some Mario Golf.
Man, I've never played a Mario Golf game before. But,
yeah.
I mean, honestly, this one looks pretty fun.
It does. It looks like they're going towards not just golf fans. They're adding a bunch of party games in there.
That sounds fun. Like, I think it would be good for casual fans like myself. I thought Mario Tennis was fun.
Yep, that's another good one.
And last but not least, I guess this was yesterday, but Nintendo announced a new Skyward Sword amiibo. How exciting! It was just randomly dropped on Twitter. It's a figure of Zelda in her blue sky loft, and it's actually, like, bigger than normal amiibo, so it's selling for $25 in the US. I don't know about anywhere else, and it's going to release the same day as the game, which is July 16th. How freaking excited.
I did not know it was bigger.
It is bigger. So I guess technically you can say it's like 2-in-1 because you get like the little bird and then Zelda. So I guess maybe it justifies the price. But anyway, I have it pre-ordered and I was just lucky to get it because it's sold out now.
Yeah, so right before the podcast, I was scrolling down the video game Sage forums and I saw this guy. He was complaining about how if EA did something like this, then it would be absolutely like people would just be roasting them for it. But since it's Nintendo, we just brush it off. And what he was talking about is what the amiibo unlocks. Did you see what it unlocks?
It's you can scan it anywhere in the game and then it like transports you either to the sky or to the ground.
It's a fast travel pretty much. And he was saying that like, they're making you spend it's not even a microtransaction. It's like you're locking a key feature of the game behind $25. And at first I was like, oh wow, he's kind of right. And then I was reading people's responses and they were like, well, this wasn't even a feature in the original game. And I was like, well, that's a very good point.
One, it's not a feature in the original game. And two, there is still fast travel. It's just not transporting anywhere. It's from, like, the save places, which is like any normal game.
If you're buying this amiibo, it's not because you want to fast travel. You're buying it because it's an awesome collector's item that has a ton of detail in it, and you can't wait to put it on your shelf. And that's where the $25 comes in.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't really care about that. I mean, obviously I'm going to open it, but I probably won't use it because, I mean, the fast travel's fine in the game anyways. It's not like it's a huge game. It's not like Breath of the Wild. There's only like 2 spots to fast travel.
And there you have it. From someone that's played the game.
Many times, yes.
I have a couple... Oh, wait. I wanted to talk about Donkey Kong. So, do you think it's going to be a 3D Donkey Kong?
You know, I think since it's being worked on, the company that did a 3D Mario game, I kind of want to say yes. Do you think that's something they would do?
I honestly don't know. I do think it's weird that Retro Studios wouldn't be handling it. But if they did go 3D, I think they could totally do it. I think that it would be so cool if somehow they intertwined New Donk City into this game with him being the donk part of that city, you know? Like, that would be pretty cool.
That would be really cool.
So I don't know what they have planned. I don't even know if this is true, you know? It could just be a big lie.
It's just a rumor.
I'm really looking forward to E3. It's going to be good stuff this year, I hope.
Oh, I'm so excited. I really hope Nintendo and everyone else has just amazing things to show off.
We will be discussing it in our next episode. So be here for that, folks. A couple points of news for me. Today there were new Nintendo Switch Online games announced. And pretty weak. They have... For the NES, there is Ninja Jaja Maru-kun. I probably should have let you read that one. And that was... you know what? I didn't even look it up. I don't know anything about that game. I don't know if it was a Japanese exclusive or what. But the Super Nintendo games, we got Super Baseball Simulator 1.000.
Whoa. Cool.
Is anyone playing these freaking sports games? The answer is no. No one's asking for them. No one's playing them. I don't understand. Caveman Ninja, also known as Joe and Mac. So we already have Joe and Mac 2. Now they're adding Joe and Mac. Magical Drop 2 is like it looks like a Tetris game, Tetris Attack type game. And then Spanky's Quest. That is another... What'd you say?
I said what?
That is another Natsume title that... Like, I don't know, they have something going on with Natsume right now, and they just keep adding Natsume games to Nintendo Switch Online. So I think that game or a game from that series, the Spanky series, is just recently been released by Limited Run Games. I think Limited Run Games also has something with Natsume. I think Natsume is just trying to make some money off their properties at the moment.
They're doing it the right way. Yeah, you want a game? Sure.
I'm pretty sure there was a Spanky game just put like on a Game Boy cartridge through Limited Run Games or something like that.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that game looks alright, Spanky's Quest, and then, you know, I'd be down to try out Caveman Ninja or Joe and Mac with you. It looks like a decent 2-player side-scroller.
Is it a platformer?
Yeah.
Oh boy, you know, I'm really good at those.
Oh, we just sat through Donkey Kong Country 3.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, I think because it was like as soon as you died, the other person takes over. I think I probably did like 10% of the game and you did 90%. Not gonna lie. I was here more for like moral support.
You know, it seemed like at the first few times we played it, it felt like it was the other way around. I felt like I was constantly dying.
Really? Oh, well, the Saw level. Okay, I want to put this down on record here. So when we first started playing, I guess we didn't realize that like the Y button was running. So there's a level in the game. I can't remember how far it is, but it's like you're climbing up a tree and there's like a saw at the bottom. So it's like you got to outrun the saw. And we completed that whole level without running once. Without running.
Now, as embarrassing as that sounds, we have both played the first two Donkey Kong countries, and I don't know why we just were not holding down the Y button. I have no idea.
Yeah, but that's our claim to fame is we beat that level without running once. I think that's pretty impressive.
That's probably why I felt like I did 10%, because we were on that level for hours on end. And I was constantly dying first. It's because I was fat freaking Kitty Kong.
Yeah.
Fat Kitty Kong, and he can't run. Like, that was on me.
Oh, I mean, so you're saying the only reason why I did so well on that level is because I was Dixie Kong? Is that what you're saying?
Skinny Dixie Kong, that's right. My only other point of news, I just saw this before coming to the podcast. Injustice Gods Among Us animated movie confirmed, and that's only half related to video games because obviously the game came before the comics. I'm 95% sure that's true, and yeah, so that's going to be a cool animated movie. DC does some killer animated movies, and
that's the only good thing DC does.
Cool. Not even gonna
Snap!
Go right now.
Snap!
All right, so let's get into today's topic. Today we're going to discuss some things that we would love to see in future installments of some of our favorite Nintendo franchises.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be going through story and gameplay mechanics and just anything we want to talk about, really. We're going to read through each IP that this Wikipedia page says Nintendo owns, and we'll stop at the ones that we want to discuss. Now, if we don't discuss a certain game, it's not because we hate the game, it's not even because we haven't played the game, but maybe we just don't have any ideas for a sequel for that IP. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. These will be read alphabetically, which means the first one up is 1080. 1080 Degree Snowboarding, the IP that had 2 installments and never returned.
Yeah. No, I've never played it.
Talk to me about it.
I've literally never played it. I own it.
I think I own both of them, and I'd have never played them.
Me
the life
either.
Of a collector. All right, cool. So next up is Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm. Hate it.
I love Animal Crossing, but I don't really have anything to say. I don't know. We're still pretty hot off the heels of the latest Animal Crossing. It's only been a year, and I don't really see... I don't know. I didn't come up with anything to have in a sequel, personally.
You must really love it, then.
Loving it. Next up is Art Academy. Talk to me, Hannah.
So this one is you do a lot of art, and you're in an academy.
And that's the summary, read right off of Wikipedia.
Yep.
All right, we don't know about this one. This is a Platinum Games game here called Astral Chain. We don't know if Nintendo owns it or not.
The last I heard, I don't know if Nintendo actually owns the IP and it's like they can do whatever they want with it, because obviously Platinum Games developed it, but Nintendo helped, like, I don't know, finance it or publish it. I don't know the specifics, but I think Nintendo owns it, or at least that's what the Platinum Games guy said. Maybe.
I love this game, and I know you love this game. Did you write anything down for a sequel?
I didn't write anything down for a sequel, but I said, I did my likes and dislikes. I said the music was amazing. Absolutely amazing. The visuals were also amazing. And I said that I don't really have a concept for the next game, but the game, it wrapped up pretty nicely, but I think a sequel is definitely possible.
I think that it will happen. Definitely want it to happen. But yeah, I didn't write anything down. I really enjoyed the first game.
Yes, I agree. Definitely go play it.
Balloon Fight is next.
Yep.
Yep. Might see it on Nintendo Switch Online someday. After that, we got Battle Clash. Is that a Super Nintendo game?
You're asking the wrong person.
I don't know anything about Battle Clash. I think that's like a game that you see at every game store. It's like $5, cart only, no one wants it. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Same thing with Astral Chain here. This is Bayonetta. Does Nintendo own this one? No clue.
Yeah, don't know. But it's only, I mean, since Nintendo took it on the Wii U, it's only come out on Nintendo consoles.
I have the first one on Xbox 360, and I keep meaning to go back and play it. I've been wanting to play a hack and slash lately, but I just haven't sat down and popped it in. But someday soon, I'll put some Bayonetta in.
It's good, but it's very difficult. Like, I'm not super good at hack and slash games, and I think I only got like a few hours in. I was like, this game is way too hard. And then I'm on the easy setting. There's multiple settings. Dang. I'm on easy, and I still suck.
Next, we have Big Brain Academy.
Is that... What is that?
It's the same thing as Brain Age. So I didn't know that this was a Nintendo IP, because I knew Brain Age was, but I didn't know Big Brain Academy was, because they're not related. They're just both educational DS games.
Well, I ripped this straight off of Wikipedia, so if it's wrong, blame Wikipedia.
Yeah, don't come for our throats, but please do kindly let us know if Big Brain Academy is not a Nintendo IP.
Yes.
But that's the one I grew up with. My cousin and I both had that game, and it's actually pretty fun to get your little high scores in there. Speaking from a 10 or 12-year-old's experience, I had a blast with it. But yeah, that's it. I don't need a sequel for that. I don't have anything written down. But Bit Generations / art style. What is that, Hannah?
Uh-huh.
Is that like Bit Trip?
Sure.
I've heard of Bit Trip. I don't know. I'm probably going to sound stupid if I keep talking. Next up is Box Boy. And I'm sure you didn't throw the exclamation point at the end of that one.
No, you have to scream it. Say it again, but scream it.
No, I can't do that.
No.
Box Boy is...
really big in Japan.
So my cousin totally recommended me this game. It's on Switch. It's Box Boy and Box Girl, I think. It's like, it looks fun. It looks like a little enjoyable puzzly 2D game. And yeah, I will probably play that one day. I'm pretty sure it's eShop exclusive.
Yeah, it probably is. It's so popular in Japan that it has an Amiibo in Japan.
Oh wow.
But not in the US.
It probably has a physical release in Japan.
Oh, definitely.
Next up is Brain Age.
Woohoo!
What do you got?
Actually, I do have something on this. So Nintendo just released a new Brain Age. But I was considering...
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I'm definitely sure, because I know I took a picture of it up for Instagram. But I've really liked that game. That's one of the games that we used to play, like, on the bus going to, like, field trips. Everyone had their, like, DS, and we'd all play Brain Age. And be like, what age are you? You know, like, what age was your mind? They did that all the time. But I always thought that it would be really cool to get, now that the Switch is region-free, to get, like, the Japanese one. Because it'll teach you, like, Japanese things and, like, how they do math and how they read stuff. So I always thought that would be really fun, but I have yet to do it. So...
oh, that would be cool.
I would like a multi-regional one where you can do, like, different languages and stuff. Wouldn't that be neat?
Yeah, it'd be like Rosetta Stone on the Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But far less expensive and far less helpful.
So what's the story? Are you going to tell me about this, the story of this sequel that you want?
Nope, that's it. There is no story.
I have nothing written down. I've never played Brain Age, but next up is Card Hero. I don't know what that is, Hannah.
Yeah. It's cards. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh, but
Yu-Gi-Oh
not.
cards?
No, I have no idea. No, I literally have no idea.
Chibi Robo. That's kind of a popular game. I've never played it.
Is it popular, though? Is it really?
It's like 5 or 6 games. I don't know.
There are? I only know of 2. The one for the GameCube and the one for the 3DS that no one bought.
There's some that are Japanese exclusive, and then there's at least one on DS here, I think. I don't know.
Oh, you're probably right. But I would...
Clubhouse Games. Oh, go ahead.
I said I would not think that's a very popular game over here. Probably in Japan. They like their tiny, like, electronic things.
And it's got Chibi in the name.
Chibi, mm-hmm. Very Japanese.
Clubhouse Games. Did you pick up Clubhouse Games 51?
No, but I can play it with one of my friends' online Nintendo Switch accounts, so that's exciting. But no, I haven't played it yet.
Are you talking about pirating?
Pirating? No. I have multiple accounts on my Switch, so I can download their eShop games and play.
Well, I'm pretty sure Nintendo's listening right now and they're on their way to your house, so...
Yeah, you're probably right. So actually, you know what? I think I have multiple Switches, and so, yeah. It's multiple Switches.
Color TV game. What is that?
I want to say that's, like, one of their first... I don't know. Never mind. I don't know. It's probably a color game that you can play on a TV.
I feel like I knew where you were going with that, and I think you might be right, but I don't know.
Like one of their first consoles they came out with, it was like something wonky.
Yeah, that's like a really generic name, but it sounds like it. Color TV game. Yep, I don't have anything that I want to see in the sequel of Color TV.
Very
game,
English.
Personally.
Color 2 TV game.
Crosswords is up next. That one sounds pretty self-explanatory. Maybe instead of calculator, next we can have crosswords.
Crosswords and Sudoku. That'd be good.
That's probably worth $10.
Yeah, you're right.
I didn't even hear about the xylophone one until you just told me about it.
Isn't that nice? I mean, I feel like xylophone would be a little more useful than a calculator.
Everybody was roasting the calculator, but I didn't hear a single thing about the xylophone.
Yep. Calculator team was like, you know what? Let's put our xylophone app on there too. While everyone's talking about the calculator.
Yeah, where's the calculator IP on this list?
Yeah. Good point.
What else do we have? Cruisin'. Woo, Cruisin'.
Yeah. That's like Cruisin' World and Cruisin' Exotica and all those.
Oh yeah, there's only one Cruisin' that spells it that way.
Cruisin'. Did I highlight that one?
So those, yeah, you did.
Oh shoot, did I? Okay, well, I really like those games, and I think that they should have, like, a new arcadey one on the Switch, just because those games are super duper fun. The music's fun, the visuals are fun, the girls waving the flags, those are fun. That's it, that's all I got.
That's a game that I rented a ton on N64, and eventually I think my dad and I ended up buying it. We just had a blast with that game, Cruisin' USA in particular. And lately, I've actually been wanting to go back and play that, just because you can't ever go wrong with like a couple of like an hour of freaking Cruisin' USA or Cruisin' World. You can't go wrong.
I agree. It's just fun, just plain fun.
And you know what else? I just bought a Game Boy Advance Cruisin' that I didn't know existed, but it's a pretty hard to find game actually. It's pretty rare, uncommon game. I forget what it's called. But yeah, there's a cruising game on Game Boy Advance. That's probably the last one in the series.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm surprised they didn't continue that on GameCube at least. Those you like constantly see those at arcades or even in restaurants that have arcades. That's like such a popular machine.
They're the best arcade games. They're the best arcade racers. Like even Mario Kart has an arcade racer, but it's not as fun. You freaking pump that pedal and you make your car go down the thing. You know what I'm saying? You can't beat that.
All right. Next up, Custom Robo. Did not know that was a Nintendo IP.
Nope, me either.
I know there's a GameCube game. Japan might have gotten a different game on N64 or something, but that's it. Not going to try to go into that.
I don't know the
pronounce
next
this
four
next
of
one
these.
for me.
It would be Daigaso Band Brothers, if that's even Japanese, and then Densetsu no Starfy, definitely not a Japanese word. Dylan's Rolling Western. I don't know what any of these are.
So Starfy's the legendary Starfy is a DS game that we have, but I think that's the only one North America got, and I want to say there's like 5 Starfy games out there. So definitely more popular in not the West.
Uh-huh.
Dylan's Rolling Western. I have never heard of that.
Me either. It's probably some like NES title that no one's ever heard of. What's a Rolling Western?
Now we got... Yeah, what the heck? Now we got Donkey Kong, and that's going to be split up into some subcategories. So, let's start with Donkey Kong Country.
Okay. I think I highlighted that one, but I don't have anything for it. Which is sad.
It could have been me because I have some notes for it. So, my experience with the latest entry, obviously it's Tropical Freeze. I did not play the special Switch version that comes with Funky Kong. I played it on Wii U and absolutely love that game. I've played it twice now, both times cooperatively. I really wish that you and I could play these games online because I will probably be playing these games until I die. The Donkey Kong Country Returns on Wii and Tropical Freeze on Wii U, all fantastic games. All two of them. I personally think that they don't need to go a 3D route. Now, I'm not against it. If they can make an Odyssey-style Donkey Kong game, then that's fine with me. But I understand that just because the Odyssey team would be making the game doesn't mean it's going to be an Odyssey-style game. But if they went that route, I'd be down. If they go a 2D route, I'm still down. But honestly, make a direct sequel to Tropical Freeze. Everything about that game is perfect. I don't think anything needs to change. I think the difficulty level is perfect. The length of the game is perfect. The collectibles in there are solid. If they were going to add something, maybe add some new animal friends. You know, nobody complains about animal friends. We got Squawks the parrot. Freaking, help me out here. What's the spider's name?
Bro, you know how many times we looked this up?
I know. I had the manual out.
I don't know. I just called him Speeder.
Man, that game was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Despite all the pain, that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, but there were certainly some levels on there where it's like, oh my god, dude, we're never gonna do this. We've been out for like an hour and a half. No way.
So there was a lot to appreciate in 3, and we saw them go crazy with the game mechanics at times. I would love to see some more wild mechanics and, just things I never even would have thought of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were some pretty cool mechanics in there. I remember the fish that would eat things, and you had to kind of keep him away from the spiny things.
Don't make
him
cool. Angry. Yeah, that one was good. I remember the intern level. It was just like
which one?
The intern level where there was like all the animals, like all the fishes you could use, and it was super duper easy. But it was like wow. And now we're on this one. Oh no! It was all the animals. It was Ellie. It was the spider.
It was.
I'm pretty sure Squawks was there. They were all there. That was a fun one.
Yeah, that was a good time. Lots of good levels in that game. But Kiddy Kong, not the best. Do not recommend. Don't put Kiddy Kong. That's what I can say. Don't put Kiddy Kong in the next DKC game.
Or just make him a little better. A little faster.
Next up we have Mario vs. Donkey Kong, also part of the DK series. Or the DK IP, I guess. I just played... I know I mentioned it earlier. I played one of the DS games in this series, and yeah, I don't have anything to say. I think those games are fine. If they were going to make a sequel, they would really need to ramp up the difficulty because that was one of the easiest games I've ever played, except for maybe 1 or 2 levels at the end, but really easy game.
Really?
Have you ever played them?
I have not, no.
There's like a GBA 1, 2 on the DS. They had something on the Wii U. I don't even know. But yeah, next is Donkey Konga. Did you highlight that one?
I did highlight that one because everyone knows I like rhythm games. I like Guitar Hero. It's like one of my favorite games ever. And I really enjoyed, I'm pretty sure I own all of them. All the Donkey Konga. There's there's Donkey Konga 1 and 2, and then there's like Jungle Beat. Yeah. They're all essentially the same thing. But I was saying that I think the Switch is in need of more rhythm games, and I would love to be able to play Nintendo songs like you could on the GameCube.
Oh my gosh, that's all you need.
That is all you need. And I was thinking, like, the one main example, the one main song that I want to play, other than, like, Zelda songs, is that freaking bomb-ass song from Mario Odyssey. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one that, like, Pauline sings, and it was, like, marketed as, like, the Super Mario Odyssey song. Wouldn't that be so fun to play?
That's perfect, yeah. You don't even need to sell us bongos, because the Joy-Cons can handle that.
Yeah, just, like, swing them down. Like your, like, drumsticks, you know?
You know what? I'm down for that. Maybe not at $60, but I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
So Jungle Beat's not the same. Have you played it?
I guess not. What's Jungle Beat?
It's just a 2D platformer where you move left and right with the bongos. You, like, hit both of them to jump.
Oh.
Not ringing a bell?
No. So what did I play?
Yeah.
I remember... Maybe it was just 1 and 2. I swear I played Jungle Beat, but maybe not.
I've played a little bit of the first game, Conga, and I remember they had the Pokemon theme song on there.
Yep.
That was too cool.
Yep. See? Isn't that fun? We need that.
I might have to break out the bongos after this podcast. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I think you should.
I didn't write anything down for Donkey Konga. Next up is DK King of Swing. So unless I'm wrong and there's like a hidden Japanese game, this was a 1-of-1 and it was just a GBA game and it used motion on the console maybe? Maybe I'm making that up. I don't think it used motion, Hannah. I think it's just a game.
Don't ask me.
But yeah, that one can rest in peace. I don't think it was very well received. Pretty weird game. I remember watching some gameplay of it. Dosha and the Giant. Have you heard of this one?
I've heard of it, but I've never played it. That's like the giant
I've
orange,
heard of it.
Orange thingy, right? Orange guy?
Yeah, I think he's orange. He's on GameCube, and he's a Japanese exclusive. Maybe in Europe too, I'm not sure, but never came to North America. Didn't know it was a Nintendo IP, though.
Yeah,
we have Earthbound / the Mother series. No, you haven't played Earthbound, have you?
Nope, I've played nothing. I know nothing of Mother.
One day I'll play Mother 2 Earthbound, but not right now. Next up is Electroplankton. So that sounds like a rhythm game. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
You know anything about Endless Ocean?
I know that it came out on the Wii, and that it's like an ocean exploration game.
There are 2 games on the Wii, and that's it. That's the whole series.
Yep. That would be a fun one to put on the Switch, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the heck it's about. I don't know if it's just like watching over your fish in a fish tank or... no, it's Endless Ocean, so it's probably not a fish tank.
Just in a fish tank. Well, it's their Endless Ocean.
So, fun fact, this game, one of these games, if not both of them, used the We Speak accessory. So, if you ever wanted to feel like Aquaman, you could indeed yell commands at the fish in Endless Ocean.
Swim! Eat! Like that?
I have not played this game at all, so I certainly haven't used the accessory on it. A few years ago, I boxed up my We Speak accessory. I detached it from my TV where it had been for over a decade, and yeah, and now it's in its box where it belongs.
May you rest in peace.
Excite! Alright, so we have Excite Truck and Excite Bots, but more important than either of those is Excite Bike, which I don't see listed on here. Yeah, that's a series that exists, and I've never heard of Excite Bots.
I have no idea what that is.
Excite Truck came out on Wii, and probably no connection to Excite Bike on NES, but yeah, that's it. We're going to move on. We got Famicom Detective Club. So tell me what you know about this one. I know that they just made a couple of new games.
Yeah, well, I think previously they were only released in Japan, and so the ones that came to the Switch were, I believe, were the first US release of any Famicom games. Obviously, because it's Famicom and not Nintendo Entertainment System Detective Club. But yeah, I think they're out now. Just released on the Switch. They're like graphic novel, like detective kind of deal. I've never played a
Mm-hmm.
graphic novel game, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, that's what they are. They look really good. I mean, I love the art style. But other than that,
Yeah, I
I know
remember
nothing about them.
watching like a direct or something recently, and they looked interesting. All right, you got anything to say about Fire Emblem?
You know, I had it highlighted just in case that I wanted to talk about it, but I really don't. Like, and I don't have Xenoblade Chronicles down for the same reason, is that I don't think I could come up with anything better. Like, I'm not saying the series is perfect by any means, but like, I don't think I could even come up with some of the crazy concepts that they do. You know what I'm saying?
So you just want to leave it to the experts?
I'll just leave it to the experts, man. They've proved that they can do it over and over again.
That's fair. That is fair. So that would include Fire Emblem Warriors and Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE. And yeah, that's it. Nothing to say about those.
Mm-mm.
We have Flipnote Studio, like a one-off 3DS game, right?
Sure.
Fluidity. Yep, we got Fossil Fighters. That's a 3DS game. There might be 2 on 3DS. That's all I'm going to say about those. We got F1 Race. That sounds like something I've seen on the original Game Boy, and probably didn't know it was a Nintendo IP. That's all I got. And I'm just moving along quickly because I know that you have absolutely nothing to say about these games.
Nope.
F-Zero. Talk to me.
A Falcon Punch. Right?
Have you ever played F-Zero, Hannah?
I have played F-Zero. I played I guess it's the first one on the SNES Mini, and I was like, this is not for me. It's too fast-paced. It almost kind of made me sick. Like motion sick.
Yeah.
So, no, I put that down real quick.
I have very little experience with F-Zero myself. I probably own almost all of them, but very little experience. We have Game & Watches. So the latest one... You know what? I bet on the Wikipedia it's not talking about Game & Watches. It's probably talking about the Game & Watch games on Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. But regardless, we have nothing to say.
Yep.
Golden Sun. There are 3 games. Haven't played any of them. I bet you'd be into those, Hannah.
I bet I would, but they're so expensive. They're all Game Boy Advance, right?
2 GBA and 1 on DS.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Hotel Dusk.
I have no idea
It's
what that
gotta be
is.
a Japanese game. I don't know what that is. Kid Icarus.
That one I'd like to see return. Because I heard the 3DS game was super duper fun and super underrated.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to try the 3DS one. I don't really have any interest in the other 2 games, but I don't know. Pit is in Smash Bros. Pit and what's her name? Palutena.
Mm-hmm. Almost said polenta.
They're both in Smash. Like there's some kind of major series. So like I don't know. That just seems like they should revive that IP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure people would be here for it.
I agree.
What do you... Alright, so we got Kirby, Kirby Air Ride, and Kirby Fighters. I can only imagine which one of these you want to talk about.
Well, I think you're wrong, because the one I'm talking about is just normal old Kirby. 2D Kirbs. So, the last game I played in the series was Kirby Star Allies. And so, I liked the music. The music was fine. I liked the way the game looked. Like, I think the graphics were really pretty. Everything was like bright and colorful and fun. And the other Kirby friends that you had, there was like 3, I don't know what they're called, just like buddies or partners that you have with you. They were actually like pretty smart. Like, you know how sometimes the AI you're playing with are like really freaking dumb? You're like, oh, come on, please just hurry up. But they were actually pretty smart. They did what you're supposed to do. They like pulled handles and solved puzzles and whatnot. And then there were a lot of collectibles, which I guess was fun. And if you wanted to 100% the game, I guess it would take it a little longer, but that leads me into my dislikes, which is the game was way too easy and way too short. I think the game was literally like 3 hours.
Yeah, I saw you post that on Instagram the other day.
That, I mean, I don't know if it was rushed or what, but it was just bad. And then the game was too reliant on like multiplayer. Like I said, you have buddies with you and they're like AI, but like you're supposed to have friends playing with you, like 3 other friends. I don't have 3 other friends, especially not ones that have Kirby games. So it was just, it felt empty and boring, and it was not a fun experience for a single player. And I hate games like that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Games that are way too reliant on having people to play with. I mean, it's great when you have friends, but when you don't. And so I guess what I want for the next game is to return more to like its traditional roots, you know, like single player only. Or I mean, you can have multiplayer. I'm not against multiplayer, but like be more of a single player campaign. And if you have 2 players, great, that's awesome, but it's not going to take away from the single player experience. And just make it longer, man. Like,
yep.
Just and make it more difficult, or at least give you like a difficult setting. Like, oh, if you want to play easy, that's fine, that's cool, but you can also do like hard, which is like normal for like N64 version. And then of course I've said this a bajillion times, but I would love a Kirby Air Ride 2. I'd love that game. Would love a sequel. Would love a port, but you know, sequels are cool too. That's all I really have to say though. Just make them more difficult, more challenging. I mean, it was like a child's game.
Yeah, absolutely. My comments are pretty similar. I wrote that obviously the difficulty, for the love of God, just ridiculous. So here's something they could do. Follow the new Super Mario game strategy, where you have a 4-player option, but not like Star Allies, where you had to be Kirby's little helpers. Mm-hmm. I really was not a fan of that, and I've not even wanted to play that game cooperatively. I want a Kirby game that's going to have 4 Kirbys, all equal, like no one's better than the other, like no one's begging to be first player because 2nd, 3rd, and 4th players suck. Like, I don't want that. So, like, I don't care if it makes sense in the story, just like come up with something that cloned Kirby and now there's 4 Kirbys. Like, I don't really care what the reason is. So even in the Wii game Return to Dreamland, I just played that one last year, I think, and it was 4-player or 2-player at least, but you could be Meta Knight, you could be King DDD, and then like Waddle Dee or whatever that little red dude's name is. But still, none of them were the same as Kirby. You couldn't suck in any enemy you wanted to, and I just don't like that. I don't know why it's like such an issue to have 4 equivalent players. So another option they could go with, if they don't want to make it 4-player, is go the Donkey Kong Country route, where it's a 2-player co-op experience. You guys have slightly different perks. You know, like Kiddy Kong was a fat, obese human, but he was strong. Or not a human, he was a monkey. And then, you know, Dixie can swirl through the air with her hair. So, like, have King DDD and Kirby team up, or Meta Knight and Kirby. I don't care, but I don't know. It just sounds like I'm just a consumer and I have like all these great ideas for Kirby. Like, why can't y'all at HAL Labs figure this out? I don't understand. Kirby games should be better. They should be way longer. They should be harder. I've played a few Kirby games in my life, and I don't know if they're all easy, but all the ones I've played have been way too easy.
It's because Sakurai's too busy with Super Smash Bros.
Oh, and another thing, more power-ups / enemies. I think that it gets pretty repetitive pretty quick. And there's no reason not to have a ton of different enemies and a ton of different power-ups. I think that would be awesome.
I concur. Wow, that was very, very good.
Thanks. I think at least 8 hours is how long the next Kirby game needs to be, especially if I'm paying $60.
I agree. Very much agree.
That was pretty ranty.
That was pretty ranty. Wow. Whew. Take a second to cool off there. That's not like
me. The only other game that makes me that heated is Super Mario Party. Oh. But we'll have to wait a few minutes for that one. All right, we got Kururin, and I'm pretty sure you know absolutely nothing about it.
No.
You're laughing at how Caucasian it was when it left my mouth.
Uh-huh.
So I actually own I don't know if it's the game of this IP or one of the games, but I own it in the Japanese Game Boy Advance form. And it is supposed to be, I haven't played it, it's supposed to be a really tough puzzly game. And I bought it because it looks like a blast, but I have not tried to sit down with you and like translate it and read through the menu options. And also, I found out there's a European version. I don't know why I bought the Japanese version, but there is a European version, so I could be playing this game in English. So that's my mistake. But anyways, that's it for that word that I won't say again.
No, please say it again. It was so funny.
Magical star sign.
What the heck is that?
All right. What is that? I thought I was a Nintendo fan, but I guess not.
Apparently not.
We have Magnetica. And also, what the heck is that? And the big one that we've all been waiting for, Mario. So we're going to go alphabetically here, but the first one up is Mario Kart. What do you got?
Oh boy, do I have a lot to say about Mario Kart. Well, I think we talked about it a lot previously in one of our other podcasts. But I would like to see... Well, I guess, okay, first let me go with what I liked about Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So the first thing I liked about it, I thought it controlled really, really well. The game looked great. The music was amazing. And it also was easy for newcomers to play, which I know is kind of like a staple of Mario Kart, but like my dad played it and he's not a gamer. My mom played it and she's not a gamer. I felt like it was more difficult for them to play like the Wii version. They're like, nah, not having it. But this one was a lot easier. I also liked the character customization. There was like the character, like the cart they were using and like the little kite thing. I think that was fun.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's in the Wii version. I don't think it is.
Couldn't tell you. It's been so long.
Yeah, same. And then I liked that there was the addition of other Nintendo characters. Like, for the Wii U, you could pay extra. I think it was like $5. You got like Link and like a Hyrule course, and then there's Isabelle and Animal Crossing courses, and then the Inklings were added in later. The online ran pretty good. The online for the Wii U it ran fine, but like there wasn't a whole lot to do. It was like collect coins or like race people, which was fine. But Deluxe definitely gave us more to do online. I mean, the balloon popping is like one of my freaking favorites.
I think a lot of people were upset when they didn't have battle mode.
But they do now, so that's fun. Wii U. And the things that I disliked, like I said, I mean, the online was awful on the Wii U, but they fixed it on the Switch, which was nice. And then, so from the next Mario Kart game, it's not Mario Kart 9, I assume they could call it that, but it's like the Nintendo Kart kind of thing. We've already talked about it a little bit, but like they already have Link and Hyrule and Inklings and Isabella in it, so I think it'd be really fun to be like the Super Smash of Mario Kart, but not have like third-party IPs. Like, I don't want to race around as like Cloud or like Pac-Man or like Sonic. Just leave it to like Nintendo IPs. I think that would be really fun. They've already kind of done it, so I don't see why they wouldn't. So I guess my main example here would be like a Pokemon course. Like, this is the course I had in my mind. It's a Pokemon track, right? So you can race as like Charizard or like Pikachu or whatever. Or Ash. I mean, I guess he's a person. But you're racing through the map of like Let's Go Pikachu. So you're starting in Pallet Town, you're racing through Viridian City and Pewter City, but like as 3D, not like the pixely stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then like at the very end, it's like the Wario with the ski slopes, like it's only one direction, and then once you get to the end you're done. But I figured like the last part of the level is like you're in the gym. You're not, but like Pokemon are battling, like giant Pokemon are battling around you in this giant gym. And you have to, like, avoid the Pokemon attacks, like you do with, like, the fire and stuff. That sounds amazing. Doesn't that sound fun?
That's such an awesome idea.
But, yeah, I think that'd be awesome, but keep it to Nintendo stuff. I don't think we need a super hyped up Mario Kart, character reveal.
So I pretty much said a lot of the same stuff. I said... Well, I guess my experience with Mario Kart 8, pretty similar, except I didn't play Deluxe. I loved Mario Kart 8. I think right behind Double Dash, I think it is my favorite Mario Kart. It is really good. graphically, just a beautiful game. And like that's as to be expected with a first party game on a first party console. It was I wrote down Nintendo Kart as well. I don't really have an issue, or I didn't have an issue until you said that, with non-Nintendo characters. I think Cloud would be pretty freaking weird. Like anything that like anyone that's an actual human is probably going to be kind of weird, because it's just such a kiddie game. At least in Smash you're beating each other up, but I don't know. I think Sonic would be a good fit. I think any animated character from a non-Nintendo IP would be pretty cool. But I did write down that a double dash mechanic in the next game would be awesome. And it doesn't have to be the entire game. It could just be like one mode where you're playing doubles, if you want to call it that. I think that would be pretty neat, because I loved it. I love switching between characters and each character having a special item. What do you think about that?
When I played Double Dash, I wasn't a super huge fan, so maybe I'm not the best person to ask. But yeah, that sounds fun. I mean, giving players more options and more ways to play never seems like a bad idea.
Never seems like a bad idea. I also wrote down more maps. Mm-hmm. I don't think that Mario Kart 8 was lacking, but you can never go wrong with more maps.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that, like, they always are sure to include previous Mario Kart maps. I think that's neat.
I think that's super freaking cool. And they even have different versions of, like, similar levels. Like, aren't there 2 versions of, like, Rainbow Road?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's super awesome.
I wrote DLC characters in the Super Smash Brothers style. And, I don't think that anything has kept Smash alive like these DLC characters have. Like this pass. What is it called?
Fighter's Pass.
Yeah, so that has kept this game alive, I feel like. And like Smash is always going to be played, even if they never make another Smash again. People are going to be playing this game until the Switch just doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the DLC characters keep Smash relevant, and I don't know, I could totally see them doing it with Mario Kart, but I guess it only works if they're doing non-Nintendo IPs. I don't know. That's not entirely true. I think that would be cool. I'd probably buy it. The driver's pass for Nintendo Kart.
That'd be fun. If they did a few, like, that wouldn't bother me, but I don't know. It just seems like they don't really need all the hype for Mario Kart, because everyone's going to buy Mario Kart anyways.
The single best-selling racing game of all time. And the best-selling Nintendo Switch game.
Mm-hmm. And counting. It's still going.
That's so crazy, because it was a port from another console, and it's still the best-selling game on the Switch.
Yep.
I do think it's only a matter of time. Whether we get a Mario Kart or a Nintendo Kart, I think that the clock is ticking. Maybe we'll see it next month at E3. Who knows?
Maybe.
We have... What else did I write? An actual story mode would be cool. Not just, like, get gold on all the maps.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. I don't know if people care about that. But, yeah. I'm a big fan of actual story modes.
That would be fun.
That's all I got for Mario Kart. Moving on with the Mario IP, we have 3D Mario.
Yes.
Do you have anything?
Of course I do. I have almost a whole page here. Okay.
Here we go.
So, latest 3D Mario game I played, and probably you played as well, is Super Mario Odyssey. The things I liked about it, I really liked Cappy. I thought he was a super fun character, and I also liked the capture mechanic. I think you made the gameplay really unique. You could capture different creatures and blah, 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 and use their powers. I think that was awesome. And then the story really surprised me in this one. Usually it's just like Bowser's, captured Princess Peach and you gotta save her, which is like the story for every Mario game. But this one was kind of different. He was like forcing her to like marry him, and then he had like some minions that are out to get you. I thought that was super fun.
Yeah.
Not in depth, not like an RPG, but I mean, it was still something other than just, save Princess Peach. And in the end, she was like, I'm an independent woman. I don't have to be married to anyone. And it was like, heck yeah, Nintendo. And then the music, like we said, the Pauline song, is amazing. There's like
I'm usually not even a big fan of like songs with lyrics in games, but that was a heck of a song.
that was a super catchy song. There's I don't know if you consider it mechanic, but there's a way to like play certain songs whenever you want. And I've had that song on repeat over and over and over and over again while I was playing the game. It was just so good. And then being able to customize Mario, I thought was super fun. He had so many different costumes, and then you could even turn him into, which plays on like the nostalgia. You can turn him into Super Mario 64 Mario, where he's like all blocky. That was super fun.
That was huge.
That was awesome. That's how I played as soon as I unlocked that costume.
Yeah.
And then things I disliked. There's actually quite a bit. There was no freaking hub world, man. So like in Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, there's like one land or like one castle that you're in, and every level like branches out from that. I really missed that in this one. It was fine. It was fine because I guess you're traveling from like one kingdom to the next. I don't know. I just liked going back to like one land. It made everything feel like more connected.
Yeah.
What's next? Oh. And I mentioned nostalgia as like a plus, like something that I liked, but there was a freaking lot of it, dude. There was like so many parts where it's just 2D platform Mario, which I thought was fine, but there was just, it was a lot. Like even the whole sequence with like the Donkey Kong thing and New Donk City, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's just nostalgia after nostalgia. I think there's a good amount and then there's a bad amount, and this was bordering on like too much. I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
I didn't think it was too much, but I'm listening.
I think that it doesn't need to rely on nostalgia for people to love Mario. Like everyone's gonna love Mario. It's freaking Mario.
You know, as collectors and like retro gamers that we are, I think it's like these people that have Switches, the commoner, they're not seeing 8-bit Mario every day, and I don't know. I think it's a lot less of a big deal for them. Or maybe I should say it's more of a big deal for them. It's like, oh my gosh, I played this as a kid. I remember this. Like, that's pretty cool.
Oh, you're
and for us, it's like,
right.
yeah, you know, I've played this yesterday. I'm done with it.
I literally saw this yesterday. Yeah, you're probably right. I didn't even think of that. Next thing is there were too many moons. Like, there's like, isn't there like 1,000 moons?
This from the woman that freaking, oh my gosh, you know what I'm about to say? The Korok seeds.
Yeah, but I felt like all of those were a challenge. This one was just like, step to the right and hit this block and you get a moon. Woo! You know, I didn't feel like that way with Legend of Zelda. I don't know. It was like, it diminished the accomplishment of finding one. Like, at least the Korok seeds were like actually hidden. And some of them were hidden pretty well. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, they are.
It just felt like it was just too many. Like in the original Mario, there's only 120, and even you don't need all of those to beat the game, which I guess you don't need all of them to beat the game here. I don't know. It just felt like too much. Just too many moons everywhere.
Did you 100% Odyssey?
Dude, no.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't either. I got like 500 and I was done.
See, that's a freaking lot, man. 1,000?
Yeah.
Even there was only 900 Korok seeds? I don't know, but that wasn't the main point of the game. You know what I'm saying? Collecting moons is the main part of Super Mario Odyssey. Collecting Korok seeds was just an extra. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't love Mario Odyssey as much as I loved Breath of the Wild to explore the world for that long. Moving on. This is just a minor complaint, but like, when entering the worlds for Super Mario 64 and Sunshine, like, it gave you the name of the star or the moon star or shine sprite that you were going after, so at least you got like a little hint. Like, I felt like there were no hints at all for any of the moons you're finding in Odyssey. It was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go plant this seed in this pot and then hopefully something shoots out at me, you know?
That's true, yeah.
So I like that you could pick like a specific one. You're like, I'm gonna go collect all the 8 coins in this level, you know?
Yeah.
That was a big thing for me. I think that's pretty much it.
There you have it, folks. A page worth of 3D Mario notes. Yeah,
well then I have what I like from the series in general. Kind of what I want for the next game. Obviously a hub world, I think that I was really missing that. And then I like the more sandboxy, like open worldy kind of Mario games. Like, I don't like And you're gonna hate it when I say it, but I don't like the 3D worlds. I don't like the 3D lands. Super Mario Galaxy was kind of that way. Like, I felt like you just followed a specific path. Don't like those. I like to be able to roam around. Odyssey did that very well. And then, if a Mario game is good enough, I don't think it needs, like, a fancy mechanic. Like, I don't think it needs Cappy, and I don't think it needs Flood. Like, if it's just a good game with good platforming, like, I don't really think it needs those. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. It's like, oh, there's a new Mario game. What's the gimmick going to be this time? Like, I feel like that's just kind of the thing. Did Galaxy have a gimmick besides gravity?
The gimmick was being in space and being, like, spherical and moving around in spheres.
Like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Super Mario 64 didn't have that, and I like that one just fine. I know I compare everything to that, but, like...
Oh, that's a good comparison, though.
Didn't have one, and it's still regarded as one of the best games. That's all I have to say, though. If anything, the next game in the series, it can have a mechanic, like a Cappy or a Flood. It doesn't necessarily need it, in my opinion, but it can have it. I want it with a HUD world. Yeah, that's all I got.
I really loved the Princess Peach's castle at the end when you finally got the Mario 64 costume, suit, whatever. That was super cool.
And you actually collected the stars instead of moons. That was fun.
Right. Alright, so I'm not going to say much about Odyssey. I freaking loved it. And I don't know. I didn't 100% it. I got about 500 stars, and that was it. Loved the game. But tell me what you think of this idea. I came up with my own little theme for the next game.
Ooh, bring it on.
A little time travel would be pretty cool. So Mario Through the Ages. So same style as Odyssey, where you collect stars in each world or whatever, but Mario's going through different time periods. You got the prehistoric, you got the Stone Age, the medieval, the modern, the futuristic, etc. And, you know, after so many stars, you can power your time machine or something and get on to the next level. I think that would be that'd be a lot of fun.
Dude, that is such a good idea.
Thank you. I just finished writing my email to Nintendo.
That is such a good idea.
Thanks.
I mean, we already had dinosaurs, so it's canon in the Mario universe. Dude, that sounds awesome.
I think that's where my idea rooted from, was the dinosaur in Odyssey.
We can have some cavemen toads.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good idea. That is a good idea.
And it's a good thing they're listening.
Yeah. You got that, Nintendo? Write that down.
All right, talk to me about freaking Mario Party.
Okay, well, I feel like I'm not going to be as ranty as you are going to be. I'll
spare the listeners. I've done it enough.
Okay. So, Super Mario Party was the last game that I played. I liked the minigames. I think they really utilized the motion controls and the Joy-Cons, like, perfectly. Don't you agree?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay.
The Joy-Cons were a very nice experience.
Yeah, I agree. And I also enjoyed, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like we're on the little raft that's like river survival or something. And you float down the river and you play with your friends and you like pick minigames along the way and you get to pick your path. Me and my roommate played that a lot. That was really fun. It was really easy for her to get into. You didn't have to worry about like any of the game mechanics or anything like that. It's really good for newcomers. And then I also like that the game returned to a more traditional form, like a Monopoly style play, like everyone is separate and everyone does their own thing versus like I don't even know what Nintendo was thinking here, but like every player sits in a cart and you go together.
Mario Party 10.
Is that 10? Yeah, that was awful. I never played that, but I could imagine how awful that was. And then
I didn't play it either.
The dislikes, the game boards and the game in general just kind of felt empty. Like there wasn't a whole lot to do. The game boards were boring and just like vanilla. I would just say the whole game was pretty vanilla. Even the items were vanilla. Like there wasn't any fun items. It was like just your typical like mushrooms and blah 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 and coins.
Yeah, for real.
It was not very creative. They spent their creativity budget on the games, on the mini games, and not the boards. That's all I got though.
You know, they had that 3DS game obviously recently, but it was like what, top 100 mini games?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how that was.
Oh, yeah.
I never played that one. Because that was like something I thought would be cool I thought of that. I'm not trying to be that guy, but I think I totally had that thought before they made that game, and I was like, they could totally do like a greatest hits. But I don't know. You don't think of multiplayer when you're playing on a freaking handheld.
No,
We
not
could
really.
use we could use like Mario Kart consistently brings back classic maps. I don't see why we couldn't have the best games come into some of the future Mario parties. But yep, my experience with the latest entry, Super Mario Party, was a good game. I had fun with it, but there's so many things that they just did wrong, and they fixed one of them recently. They added online play. So we're in 2018 when this game launched, and you couldn't play online. It just seems ridiculous. So they fixed that, and I heard people say, actually my friends in a different podcast said that it could be that they are preparing for Super Mario Party 2 and they're kind of testing the waters with online play in this Super Mario Party. Or, it could just be that they just wanted to add online. So I don't know. But I think that a new Super Mario Party or a new Mario Party title should be 8 players locally. So like Smash on the Wii U could do 8 players locally. There's absolutely no reason why I shouldn't be able to play a giant party game with 8 people. And I think it should have online play. It seems like they will not make that mistake again.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need at least 100 quality mini games. So I went and looked it up. Mario Party 3 had 70 quality mini games, and that game, my favorite. I haven't played all 15 Mario Parties, but I loved Mario Party 3, and I can still go back and play that, not even from a nostalgic standpoint. I just think those mini games were really like top tier quality. Super Mario Party had 80, and they weren't top tier. They were good mini games, but I think that they could get old pretty quickly. But like I said, they did great with Joy-Con. That was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely continue using the Joy-Con in a future Mario Party title.
Yep.
And yeah, like I said, I'm okay with them pulling some fan favorite mini games from past games, incorporate the Joy-Con into some of the old games for all I care. Like just remaster the mini games. So I think we need 12 plus maps. I think they all need to be large because Super Mario Party has like 6 tiny maps. And that was probably the biggest shortcoming in Super Mario Party. The maps were so unbelievably small. If you played the smallest round possible, which is like maybe 10 turns, you would be going around the map in places you've already been maybe 3 times. Like it's crazy. I was just not a fan.
I didn't even think of that.
I think star locations should not feel repeated. I feel like in Super Mario Party, you could like only have maybe 5 different spots that the star would land. And I could be wrong, but that's what it felt like. And not a fan of that. If you're going to advertise a mode that has 2 Switch compatibility, so 2 different consoles connected, it should be more than just a handful of minigames. I understand not every minigame could be compatible, but there was like maybe 10 or less that were compatible with that, and that was a huge advertisement. I think they advertised that in 2017 before the Switch was even launched. So there was a lot of hype riding on that feature, at least for me. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, where you could put your 2 Switches together.
Yeah, and on the advertisement, they always showed that tank minigame.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, here's one thing I came up of. Right, came up with is what if you could create like your own map?
Yeah, why not?
Like what negative spots you want, what positive spots, where you want like the little shops to be, or where you want like traps to be. Doesn't necessarily need to be like the Mario Maker of like Mario Party, but I don't know, at least give us more to choose from.
I can't believe that's not a thing already. That seems very Nintendo-y.
It does seem very Nintendo-y. Or make the maps like 3D. Like multi-dimensional. Yeah. I think that would be fun.
Yep, that would be super cool.
Or I mean, in addition to, I guess, you should be able to, like, choose how big your map is. Like, if you want a tiny map, I mean, tiny maps are fine, or, like, a medium map or, like, a large map, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, different versions of the same map. That might be a good idea.
So I think some people actually like to travel the whole map versus not traveling in a few turns.
Are you some people?
No, actually, that was a really good point. I had not even thought about how big the map was. I've only played 1, 2, and Super Mario Party, so I guess I don't know that much about the series. But I didn't even consider the size of the map.
Yeah. One point you made that I hadn't thought of was the items were pretty lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
They were pretty weak. So yeah, the only other things I have in actual story mode would be cool. And to be quite honest, I have not played the game single player, so if there is a story mode, I wouldn't even know about it. Is there a story mode?
I don't think there is, no.
Okay. And a huge character roster, because why the heck not? Like, if I want to play as Kiddy Kong from Donkey Kong Country 3, then throw him in there. Like, it's not hurting anybody.
Yeah, you're right. Mario and Friends Party.
Oh, you know what was I will give another positive for Super Mario Party. I enjoyed the dice mechanic. I thought that was pretty cool. So you could have allies on the map. So each character had their own custom dice block, and Mario's got 1 through 6. But if you have Yoshi or something, then it would be like 1, 1, 3, 6, 6 or something. Like each dice block was different, and they would kind of reflect the character's personality for the most part. Like Bowser had you lose 2 coins on one side of his dice block, or
Mm-hmm.
or like same thing with King Boo or whatever. I think just regular Boo's in that game. But anyways, that was pretty cool. Good on Super Mario Party for that. That was like the gimmick of that game was the dice
I
blocks.
totally forgot about that, but yeah, you're right.
All right. Tried to keep it short, but let's move on to Mario Tennis, Mario Strikers, and Mario Golf. You got anything for those?
Nope, because I don't really play a lot of Mario sports.
I've definitely played one of each at least, and I think the one that needs a new game the most is Mario Strikers. That was probably the most popular of the 3. And we've got a Mario Tennis recently. We got Mario Golf coming out next month, and Strikers could be next. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
So, do you have notes for Paper Mario?
Oh boy, do I.
Woo.
Certainly not as many as the other one. I didn't really go into what I liked or disliked because that game is so polarizing. In general, the things that I like probably other people won't like, so I'm not going to get an argument about it. But the most recent game I played was Paper Mario and the Origami King. Overall, I liked it. We'll say that. But the concept for the next game. So and I know a lot of people agree, I did not dislike the combat in Origami King. I did not dislike the combat in Color Splash. But that being said, the widely regarded as the best games in the series are Thousand Year Door and the original Paper Mario, which just had traditional, like, turn-based RPG-style combat. I would not dislike if the game returned to those. I don't think it needs some fancy gimmick in the combat. I think it turns a lot of people away from the series. So I would like to see a return to form. And so I have some concepts for, like, levels in the next one. You've never played the original Paper Mario, right?
Nope.
Okay, so there's a level in the original Paper Mario, and it's called Shy Guy's Toy Box, and the whole level is, like, toy-themed. So, back then, like, in the older games, Nintendo didn't quite lean into, like, the paper concept as much as they did later. Like, the recent ones is, like, Origami King, so, like, it's folding origami, like, obviously paper. The other one was, like, Color Splash, and was, like, cardboardy. Like, the other games were not like that at all. They were just, like, a normal game, except for the protagonist and all the characters were paper.
Yeah.
And so the main...
That was the gimmick.
Right, that was the gimmick. So, like, the main mode, it's like you jump into a toy box, so you're kind of shrunken down, and all the toys are, like, giant behind you. So there's, like, building blocks with, like, the letters, and the main, like, transportation is, like, this, like, toad train on a toy track. And so I really like that concept. I think they could make that into like a whole game. Like
Nice.
just being like shrunken down and being tiny and the world being like giant around you. Like I think that would be super fun.
Definitely not an original thing, but I mean, I don't think we've ever seen a full game like that.
I think they could really be really creative about it. Like Peach's castle could be like a dollhouse, you know, and have like
That's cool.
like the elevator that you like push up or whatever. You know, like I'm talking like child's dollhouse.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be really fun. And then other concepts. So since they're leaning like so far into the paper concept, I think it'd be really cool to have like different levels with different style. Like we've already done like the origami thing, but I think it would be cool to be like a level that's all made out of origami, or a level that's like all cardboard, or like a level that's all paint. I know we've kind of already seen that before, or like a level that's all crafts, like we see in like Yoshi's Crafted World, or just something like that. I think that'd be really fun. Because it doesn't have to be paper, but if they really want to lean into it, like they already have, I think they should like mix it up a little bit.
Very good ideas.
That's all I got though.
I'm with you. I mean, we've talked about it a lot in the last 16 episodes, but I mean, I didn't have a problem with Color Splash or Sticker Star. I thought they were fine games. I probably enjoyed the 1,000-Year Door more than those two. But you know, I still didn't dislike the Wii U and 3DS entries in the series.
I thought that,
and I know you didn't either.
The jokes were fun. Like, I know I talk about this all the time, but in Color Splash, you literally fight a piece of meat. Like, I think that's hilarious. I don't know. They weren't bad games, but they certainly weren't where they could be, I think.
I am realizing that I skipped Mario Baseball. I actually do have some notes for that. So, Mario Strikers, I'm sorry. So, wait a minute. Strikers is... Which one is soccer? I'm pretty sure that's Strikers. So, oh, we didn't talk about Mario Baseball because it's not there yet on the list. Well, now that I've made it a point, we're going to talk about Mario Baseball real quick. My experience with the latest entry was Super Mario Super Sluggers. That's the latest game that they've made. It was on Wii, and I got that for like Christmas. I was pretty pumped. I was like, yeah, I would love to have that game. Please get it for me for Christmas. Santa came through. He's a real one.
Santa, please.
So that game was good. It was fine, but I thought it was super cool that the game had a story mode. Like, that's the kind of thing I'm asking for in like Mario Kart and Mario Party. Like, throw in some kind of story mode. Obviously, you're still going to be playing baseball because it's Mario Baseball, but like, it had an overworld, and it's been like over a decade since I've played it. I couldn't tell you much about it, but what I can tell you is that it took me like 3 hours to finish the campaign. It was a good campaign, but it should have been longer, I think. Maybe double that. 6 to 8 hours would be solid in a future Mario Baseball game. Make it a co-op campaign, because why the heck not? I love co-op everything. I think that you can't go wrong. And the last thing I wrote down is make multiplayer easier to pick up and play. I've had problems with like I'm not saying I played this game recently, but back when I did have people over and I wanted to play this game with them, it was like I had to break out the manual. Like, I had to like sit here and explain this to people, because have you ever played this game?
No, I have not.
It's just really in depth. There's like RPG mechanics in it, and it's like, this is a Mario game, and it should just be something easy for multiplayer. Like, I don't know. Just because it's Mario and because it's a party game, I think they went a little overboard. But if you're just playing single player, it's a pretty darn good game, I think.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Did you
Baseball
did you have
RPG?
anything for... You don't have anything for Mario Baseball, right?
Nope.
Okay. Well, that is all I got. Next up is... Where are we? We got Mario and Luigi. Nobody highlighted that one.
I've never
Have
played
you ever
one.
played those? No?
Nope.
I've played 2 of them and have not beaten either of them. I'm an awful person.
Solid.
Next up
Very
is
nice.
Luigi's Mansion. Was that you?
I might have highlighted it, but I've never played one, so I don't know why I thought I could talk about it.
I didn't take any notes, so I'm probably not going to say much about it, but I think 3 was my favorite in the series. I think 2 is not the way to go with a sequel. So, first game, since you haven't played them, the first game you're in one mansion. The second game on 3DS, you're going through 5 different mansions, I guess. And then the third game was inside a giant hotel, and there was like a ton of different stories, like talking about different stories of a hotel.
Like building stories, yeah.
Yeah. And then I thought that was a really cool way to go through it. There was a little bit of backtracking, and I don't know. I had a blast with that game. I think one of the best looking games on the Switch by far. Like, this thing was so beautiful. But yeah, that's all I got. Let's talk about Dr. Mario.
Did I highlight that one again?
I definitely didn't highlight it.
Oh, well, sorry.
So, Dr. Mario, obviously an NES game and a bunch of ports on different consoles. But the latest entry that you may not know about is Dr. Luigi. Did you play Dr. Luigi?
What? Where the heck is that at?
Actually, I guess the app would be the latest, but Dr. Luigi was a Wii U digital title.
I did not know that.
Yep, I always wanted to play it, but I never forked over the dough. I think that one flew under the radar. So
Certainly.
When the eShop goes down, that one will be lost to time.
Oh, man, that's a bummer.
What do we got? Mario Paint had one game. I'm sure you have nothing to say about it.
Nope.
Mario Sports Mix. When I was looking at the wiki for Mario Baseball, it was like, well, this is also partly a baseball game. And I was like, I'm not counting that. So Mario Sports Mix, to the best of my knowledge, was just a 3DS game. And yeah, never played it. We got Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. You ever played those?
Yeah, actually. I played the one for the Wii a lot. That was like one of the first games I got. I think it was I think I got it for Christmas with my Wii. Yes, I love that game. That was a lot of fun.
Nice. I've barely played them. And you can't say the one on Wii. There's like 30 on the Wii. I don't know. There's at least 2 or 3.
Oh, really? I think it was oh my god, I don't remember. It might be Rio? No. I don't know. I can't remember.
Nobody knows.
I don't know.
We got New Super Mario Brothers, aka 2D Mario games. What do you got?
Okay, so obviously the last one I played was New Super Mario Bros. On the Wii. I played a lot with my friends. It's not so engaging as a single player. You can definitely tell the game was basically made for online to play with your friends. So that was kind of a big bummer, especially considering the original Mario 2 and Mario 3 were like super. I mean, obviously they were for single player and they were some of the best games ever made, so it sucks that it kind of turned into like a multiplayer only thing. But yeah, I mean, just the next title, make it more single player focused. You can have multiplayer, obviously, or just have like fun multiplayer modes. I don't know, something like that. And then I think we need a new Mario and Yoshi game, like a 2D Mario and Yoshi game, because those are like my favorite.
What,
2D
like a
Mario
Yoshi's
games.
Island game?
Yeah, Yoshi's Island. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's probably under the Yoshi category.
You think so?
I mean, aside from the first game being technically Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, I think it's a Yoshi game.
Alright, well, I'll wait and save that for the Yoshi game then. But yeah. Also, I know there's a 2D team up between Mario and Donkey Kong, but like, why has there never been a 3D one?
How would that work?
I don't know. But like, they're both platforming guys, so I don't know. Couldn't like Donkey Kong throw Mario or something and have him do certain things?
Sure. Unlikely, but it's a good idea.
Yeah, well, I never said any of these things are super likely.
Very true. So you didn't play the 3DS or the Wii U New Super Mario Bros. Games?
Nope. I was turned off after the Wii.
Dang. Well, you're not a big 2D platformer person.
No, I'm not. But I feel like I definitely would play it more if it was more single player focused.
I love these games, but I didn't write anything down. I think they're doing just fine, personally. So, Master of Illusion, is that the Mickey Mouse games?
I want to say that it is, but it doesn't say like Disney or Mickey Mouse. So I don't know.
That's interesting. So yeah, I didn't say it, but we're moving on past Mario now. We have gone through every Mario IP, and Master of Illusion is next. We don't know if this is a Mickey Mouse game or not, but next is Metroid. Do you have anything for Metroid?
Nope.
I wrote a few things down, not a whole lot. My latest 2D Metroid game was Samus Returns on 3DS. Pretty awesome game, but it was just a remake. So I don't know. They did great with it, and I don't think any other 2D Metroids need remakes. So we've got Fusion on Game Boy Advance. We've got Super Metroid, and I think that's it. So like Zero Mission is a remake, so I'm not including that. But I think Super Metroid is perfect. So just if they were gonna make another 2D Metroid game soon, just make a game like that. Modern controllers have more buttons than the SNES controller did, so make more weapons and new mechanics. And I don't want a remake of Super Metroid because it's not going to be any better than... It would be really hard to make a game better than that.
True.
And then Metroid Prime. So I've played them all except for the DS one, but I don't really have a whole lot of notes here. I got co-op campaign. I don't know how they would do it story-wise, but I think that would be cool. I guess it's probably because I'm playing Halo right now, but like a co-op Metroid would be just awesome.
Man,
Whether
you really
locally,
like your co-ops, don't you?
I don't know if it's because I'm like an only child and I love like playing co-op games when people come over, but I love co-op. It's so much fun to me.
I'm like the exact opposite. Like, leave me alone. It's my game playing time.
So yeah, throw in a co-op campaign. That would be a huge plus. And personally, I don't need any side quests. I just need you guys to keep it linear, just like the first 3 games. I know it's 2021. A lot of games are going open world right now. I would be just fine with keeping it linear. I like linearity.
Are you going to say that you like linearity because you get lost in an open world?
No.
Okay.
When I have the option to do side missions, it's like I almost never do them. And I don't know if it's because I have so many games that I'm just like, all right, I like this game, but I think it's time to move on. So let me just get through the main story. I think that's what it is. But like I've made the mistake with Breath of the Wild. I pretty much did very few of the shrines, and I don't know, I just kind of powered myself up enough until I could go and defeat Ganon, and that was it. And because of that, I really want to play that game again, and I plan to soon. But I have to break out of that linear mentality. I was like, hopefully when I beat Calamity Ganon, then I can like go back and my data will be saved, and it'll just be like, yeah, you beat Calamity Ganon, but go ahead and collect the rest of the stuff you want to collect. No, it was the kind of game where you beat him and then it drops you off at the front door right before you played the boss again.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, of course but I wasn't a big fan of that. I would have liked to have continued the game after, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, you're supposed to go there whenever you're done with the game, I guess.
Man, you play games so weird.
Yeah. I think people that like RPGs like you are not big on 2D linear platformer games like that, Like, I think I've seen that with not just you, but with some of my other friends. It's like they aren't big on 2D platformers when they're super into RPGs. And I'm also a huge 2D platformer guy. I love linearity, and I'm not big into RPGs, although I am trying. I don't know. That's just a connection I've noticed recently.
Yeah, but even like the way you experience the story, like when I get into a game, regardless if it's 2D platformer or whatever, I'm invested. I don't want to play any other game but that one, and I want to do everything, experience everything. You know? You say you're not that way. That's so odd to me.
Yeah. And I think we definitely complement each other as podcast hosts here.
Mm-hmm. Two sides of the gamer coin. Very different sides.
So, with that out of the way, you don't have anything for Metroid?
Nope.
All right. Have you played any Metroid?
Nope.
Gotcha. Would you be playing the Prime trilogy?
If it came to the Switch, probably. I'd probably give it a try, yeah.
Okay. Next is NES Remix. Did you play those?
Nope.
So these came out on Wii U and 3DS, and I did play, I want to say the first one on Wii U. And I actually took some notes here. So my experience with the latest entry, yeah, I just said that. So we got a possible sequel, which I do think is possible, is either an SNES remix or a Game Boy remix.
Ooh.
And I think they have a lot more to pull from on Super Nintendo, but because they already have NES and SNES games online, I think maybe a Game Boy remix would be more likely. But anyways, if we did Super Nintendo, they would have Star Fox, Kirby, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, F-Zero, DK Country, Link to the Past, and Mario Paint. I think they would all make some really cool, like, little NES remix style games. Super Nintendo remix. You don't even know what the game is like, or have you seen gameplay?
No, I don't even know. What does the remix mean? Like, why would they need it if they already have Nintendo Switch Online?
So it's like a compilation of challenges, you could say. They take a little snip out of, let's say, Super Mario 3, and they're like, okay, you need to kill this many enemies in this amount of time, and that's like what you do in that level or something. It's been like quite a few years since I've played it, but that's basically what it is. They had the original Zelda in there, and so you would play a level and do some challenge in the original Zelda game. It's pretty cool.
So it's not just a collection of the games?
No.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
No, they actually take levels and remix them. So yeah, you probably had no idea what I was talking about.
No, I was like, I don't understand. Seems kind of obsolete.
For Game Boy, we could do Metroid 2, Super Mario Land trilogy. I think those would be awesome to have remixed. Link's Awakening would work great. Kirby, probably Kid Icarus, although I haven't played them. Tetris would work out perfectly, but I don't know if they'd have the rights for that. And DK Land. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on Game Boy. I have not played a lot of Game Boy games. I need to expand my horizon.
I agree. I'm in the same boat.
Like the DK Land games, I don't know. I would love to play those. We have next up on the list is Nintendogs. And I did not highlight this one.
I highlighted it. I just wanted to say that I'm super salty that they never came out with like a Nintendo Cats. So I want them to make a Nintendo Cats. Or another Nintendogs, but like also Nintendo Cats. That's all I had to say. I'm just super salty about it from when we were younger. Everyone's like, yeah, the dogs are so cute. And the dogs got like 12 games. And cats got nothing.
Did they ever have cats in the Nintendogs games?
As far as I know, no. But I could be wrong. It was always like Labs and Friends or like Chihuahua and Friends. Not like Calico Cat and Friends.
You're stuck playing the Cats game with a Z.
And boy did I. I did play that game.
Oh, I bet you did.
I played the heck out of the game. It was awesome.
I enjoyed Nintendogs a little as a kid, but I didn't write any notes. Cool. So let's move on to Nintendo Labo. Anything?
Nope, you should power through these. I got nothing for all of these. I don't even know what most of these are.
Alright, let's see. We got Nintendo Pocket Football Club. Not going to pronounce that word. We got Nintendo Wars. So I know what Advance Wars is, and I feel like Battalion Wars might be a GameCube game. I don't know. We have Elite Beat Agents. I do know that name.
Mm-hmm.
Panel de Pon. I know that one. Probably know that better than I know Puzzle League, actually. Picross, Picture Book Games, Pikmin, Pilot Wings, Play Action Football. Yeah, so we're skipping Pikmin because I've personally never played any of them, and you haven't either?
I have, but I don't have anything to say about them. It's just not my genre.
Pilot Wings, that was an SNES launch title game, and there was also a 64 game, and no one needs a Pilot Wings sequel. I think I speak for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Play Action Football, and finally Pokemon.
All right, I have some things to say about Pokemon.
I'm ready.
Okay, so the latest game I played in the series was Pokemon Sword and Shield. I played Sword. I think they did a good thing with the big open area where you can catch Pokemon. Yeah. Being able to see the Pokemon, which I know they did in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee first, but I really liked that in this one too. And many of the levels, specifically like the foresty level where it's like all dark and creepy, but there's like lights, there's like mysterious lights everywhere. Like the levels were really pretty.
That was super cool, yeah.
That level was really awesome. Disliked, I know he just said that a lot of the scenes really pretty, but like if you looked really close, like some of those trees, like they looked really bad. And I know people are really upset about it, but Pokemon's never been like really graphically, amazing. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think it was a fine middleman, but I'd really like to see them step it up a little bit, just so I can go on Twitter and not hear Pokemon fans complain about it. Okay, and so what I want next from, I guess it's Gen 9, right?
Maybe.
Gen 9 is bigger wide open spaces. It doesn't necessarily need to be like a Breath of the Wild style game. Like you could still have the linear going to towns, but at least have bigger areas between all the towns, or maybe even make the towns bigger. So you feel like there's more exploration. And like bigger like islands or like different climates, things that you can sail to, like stuff that they've had in the original games, would just make it bigger, like more epic. I felt like the world in the other ones were really small. And so I guess this is kind of the next game. It's not Gen 9, it's like the origin story, but like what I want from Pokemon Legends Arceus, like we don't really know that much about like the story. And it's not even going to tell us like, actually, I don't know, I guess it might, like flashbacks or whatever, but they already established that people are in the world, right, and they live amongst Pokemon. We already know that from the trailer. But I want to see, like, the specific origins of the Pokemon. Like, did we always coincide? Did, like, people evolve from, like, apes or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, did Pokemon evolve from other animals?
Yeah.
Or did we create them? Was it, like, a... You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know who created... Like, I know Arceus... I don't know if this is game canon or, like, anime canon or manga canon, but, like, it says that Arceus, like, created Pokemon and, like, the world, but, like, did he create humans, too? Like, where did we come from? So I've always wanted to know, like, the origins, where they came from.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I dig it.
And I'm not... Like, I don't know if... From a story perspective, I'm not sure if, like, Pokemon is, like, Marvel Universe, where it's, like, only the MCU, like, the cinematic universe is canon. Like, not necessarily, like, the books or, like, the manga or, like, the whatever says on the trading cards of the games. Like, I don't know what's considered canon, you know?
Yeah.
So they could certainly retcon it, but I'd love to see the origins. Yeah, I think that's it.
My only tidbit for the Pokemon franchise is that I would love a new Pokemon Coliseum / Gale of Darkness entry.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever play those?
No, I did not, but they looked fun.
I've never played Stadium, but I think that is technically part of, like, the Stadium series. I don't know.
I think it is, yeah, I think you're right.
I only played Pokemon Coliseum. Played it a lot as a kid. It was a blast. I had a blast with it. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say is I would love a new entry in that series. I guess I could start by playing Gale of Darkness.
Do you own it?
Yeah.
Oh,
thank God, because these prices.
It's a $1,000,000,000 now.
Yep, that was one of my Goodwill finds back in like 2017-ish.
Ugh, jealous.
We have Polarium, we have Pushmo, we have Punch Out, and what the heck is arm wrestling?
I don't know.
Interesting. I've heard of Rhythm Heaven.
I've also heard of that.
It's a 3DS game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a DS game. I don't know.
I think it might be a Wii game too.
Oh, I think you might be right. We have Rob. I don't know how that's an IP.
I don't know either.
Satella Walker?
Sure.
Satella Walker? Shaburo. Must be a DS game. It says DS in the name. We got Sin and Punishment. I did not know that was an IP.
Mm-hmm.
Someone just commented on my Instagram talking about Sin and Punishment on Wii. I don't know what the heck that is. Sparkle Snapshots. You know, Sparkle Snapshots, the classic.
You know. We all know.
All right, we definitely want to talk about Splatoon. What do you got?
Okay. I know I've said this previously, but on a previous podcast, I think when we were talking about it. But obviously the latest game that I played was Splatoon 2. I liked the way it played. I mean, the controls were fluid. That was the first, like... That's not first-person shooter. It's the third-person shooter that I'd ever played. Like, competitively like that. And I had a freaking blast with it. Disliked. It lacked, like, a really compelling single-player mode. Like, I felt the single-player mode that I was playing was just, like, practice.
Mm.
It wasn't very long. It wasn't very good.
You finished the story?
Yes. Oh, and then this wasn't a super huge deal for me. Maybe it is now. It wasn't when I played, but there's no voice chat. There's no local voice chat. You have to use the app,
yeah.
which is... I really hope they do away with that in the third one. And then, I know we definitely talked about this before, but you could only play certain tracks at certain times of the day. They weren't all available. You know, you like rotated out. You could only play like 2 tracks every 2 hours or an hour or something, which was dumb. And it seemed just kind of random, whatever it was going to be. And then the same thing with the Salmon Run, I think that's what it's called. That was like not available all the time. And it sucked for people that only like to play that mode because it was only available like 3 hours out of the day or something crazy. They couldn't even access the part of the game they want to play. And then what I want from Splatoon 3 is I want courses and tracks to be available all day, every day. I think that Nintendo is definitely behind the scenes making their network a whole lot better. So I hope we see that. Or they can even do like when you're doing multiplayer, like in Mario Kart, and you have like specific people on your team. Oh, by the way, also I think you should be able to choose if you want the person on your team or the opposing team. That always sucked. But like in Mario Kart, you could like choose the track that you wanted, and then it like randomly chose through that. I think that was fun.
Oh yeah,
that was more fair than just doing 2 tracks.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I want like a more in-depth, like really in-depth, like story-driven, like campaign mode, single-player campaign mode. Like maybe give us some lore. Like I know there's some lore somewhere. I want to know more about these Inklings. Just something more than. Good.
I bet the DLC is good for that.
Yeah, it is, but I'm not gonna pay extra for it.
Yeah.
I want it to be part of the actual game.
Right.
Let's see, what else did I say? Obviously, more courses, more weapons. And then I also said like more. I know there was kind of a training course, but I don't know. It just felt really empty. Like you were just playing against dummies essentially. Like put some CPUs in there. You know, let me like have them move around instead of just sitting there, so I can like really get a feel for it.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I mean, I guess you could just do it multiplayer, but it's easier to do it when you're with CPUs. Oh, and then I thought about adding a mode where it's like it's only you can only use certain weapons, like only paint rollers this round, or like only sniper weapons, just to give people more of a challenge. And I think for me, I only used like the same 2 weapons every single time. So I feel like if you were put randomly in a mode like that and you were forced to use like snipers or paint rollers or whatever, I feel like you'd be more comfortable with the weapons, or at least I feel like I would. Because there's so many different weapons, so many weapons classes. It was so confusing. You know?
Yeah, I'm totally with you there. I mean, they're not organized very well either.
They're not.
I don't think there's a filter to filter snipers or paint buckets or whatever.
Yeah, paint buckets is another one. And then I think it'd be pretty cool to not necessarily like be able to choose any weapon during the game, but maybe have like a secondary weapon.
Oh yeah.
Or just have a mode where you have that, or you could just click a button and it's, instead of a sniper, it's like a paint bucket or whatever, or like a steamroller. Not a steamroller, but a paint roller. And I also said, we were talking about this earlier, but somebody said that this should be like locked behind Nintendo Switch Online in a free game. I don't want it to be that way at all. I like the structure of the game. Pay $60, doesn't matter to me. As long as the game doesn't have microtransactions. That's why this game is not free. It's because they still need to make money somewhere. I don't want this to be like the next Fortnite or like the next Apex. Like, I don't want it to be that way. I think it's fine the way it is. You can customize.
They totally could go that route.
They could, but I really hope it doesn't. Like, I like being able to customize your character, like, with in-game currency. Like, oh yeah, I played enough rounds. I can go buy this really cool button-up shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like that a lot. And then I guess the last thing I'd have to say would be, you know, like that. I guess it's called a hub world, but like when you enter, it's like the street.
Mm-hmm.
And you can like go to the shops and do that. I think it'd be really fun to have like mini games. It just felt like there was like an arcade there, but you could never like go in it. Like just dumb little arcade games, like I can't even tell you, but like maybe like a Tetris like one, or like a Dr. Mario type one, but like with squids and ink. I don't know, just something to like pass the time, like if you're waiting for your friends. I think that'd be fun.
Interesting.
That's all I got though.
I have most of the same complaints, obviously. Ditch the rotating maps every 2 hours. Ditch the rotating modes every 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me choose what mode I want to play. Parties need to be a thing for multiplayer. Better customization options. I think that they could go further. I think that you could have different attachments for your weapons. Like, there's no reason that you couldn't have that. Maybe there's too many weapons. Maybe it's just because they don't have a filter or something, but like maybe there's too many weapons. That just kind of came to me right now. There's so many, and some of them are so similar. It's like we could probably go without that. But yeah, maybe ditch the amount of weapons and give us attachments on the guns. I don't know. I'm obviously a huge Splatoon fan. I've been playing the last 2 games. I played them for a ton of hours each. I actually have not finished the story mode in the second game. Sounds like I'm not missing out, though.
Not really.
I didn't play much Salmon Run. From what I did play, it was pretty fun. Multiplayer is definitely where I've played spent the majority of my time with Splatoon. Yeah, I think both of those games were day one pickups for me. I was pretty hyped for them. But the mode you're talking about with like snipers only, slosh buckets only, like that's totally a thing in other multiplayer games, and there's no reason that they can't add that. That's a good idea.
Thank you.
It's a good way to expose you to guns you haven't tried.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I wrote was we should have more game modes, and like I said, they shouldn't be restricted to every 2 hours. That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even know why that's a thing.
I don't know. Maybe the servers couldn't handle it or whatever, but
I was about to say that. Yeah, that might be it.
But hopefully they're doing things behind the scenes and making it better. So we'll see.
Making it a free-to-play game with microtransactions is actually not something I had ever thought about, but they could be doing it.
No, I hope they're not. I really hope they're not.
Next up, we got Star Fox, and I know you got nothing to say.
Yep.
So let me just talk about it a little bit. I've played probably every Star Fox. The latest one, Star Fox Zero, I thought it was pretty good. Didn't have the complaints that the vast majority of humans had. Thought the gamepad was fine, controls were fine, but pretty short game. I remember it being, I want to say it was less than 8 hours, and I think it could have been longer.
Sheesh.
60%. Oh, okay. So I think that the next Star Fox game could be like Assault on the GameCube. So just for you who hasn't played much Star Fox, you had the first 3 games, like one was unreleased, I guess. So Star Fox 2, and then Star Fox 64. You were in a ship the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And in Star Fox 64, you got this thing called the Land Cruiser. I think that's what it's called. And so you're in like a mini tank, which is pretty cool. But regardless, you're in a vehicle the whole time. You get to Star Fox Adventures. It's like not even a Star Fox game, whatever. And then Star Fox Assault is, you're like half the game you're on foot using actual weapons, like third-person shooter, and then half the game you're in a ship or a vehicle of some sort. And I could totally go for that in a new Star Fox game. You have 60% in vehicle, let's say, and then 40% on foot. I think that Namco killed it with Star Fox Assault. I think that it was a really good third-person shooter and a really good, Star Fox game where you're in a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe throw in some new vehicles in a new game, not just the Land Rover and not just the R-Wing, that's what it's called. And you're going to hear me say it a lot, but co-op campaign would be a huge plus.
Stop it! Not
Fox
everything needs a
could
co-op.
Totally pilot the vehicles, and while a different character like Crystal or something could be on foot doing the on-foot missions, that would be cool. And some kind of hub area would be cool. I honestly could go for some more Star Fox lore myself. I think that a hub area, like getting to talk to people or whatever while you're not in a mission, would be pretty neat. That's what I got for Star Fox.
Oh, I guess I do kind of have something to say, though. So Starlink is not necessarily a Star Fox game, but, like, it's kind of a Star Fox game. I've never played a Star Fox game, so I assume it's not this way, but I really liked that you could just go from planet to planet, like, freely, and just explore and, like, look at all the flora and the fauna and everything on it. You can, like, go to a planet and you're like, nah, I don't want to go here anymore, and you just freaking zoom off to the next planet. I think that was so cool.
Was it very open worldy?
Yes, very open worldy, which I know you don't like, but...
Oh, it's not that I don't like it.
That's it. That's all I gotta say. I just thought that concept was so freaking cool.
Nice. So moving on here, before we get to a big one, we got Star Tropics, Steel Diver, Style Savvy. I can't believe that's a Nintendo IP. Super Smash Brothers. Neither of us have anything to say about that. I think Smash is pretty perfect, and I don't know how much better it could get. I think that they have killed it time and time again, and it's called Ultimate for a reason.
Just port Ultimate from here on out. Maybe add some characters, maybe add some new lands, new maps, or I don't know, what are they called?
Maps. Yeah, maps. I don't see it getting much better from here on out.
That's it.
That's and every time Sakurai makes a game, he's like, yeah, this is the last one. I think this might actually be it. I don't know.
I agree. I feel like he's pretty done here.
I thought Wii U and 3DS was perfect, but this one's even better somehow. We got Swap Note, probably another 3DS app. And then we've got The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
So the 4 subcategories here, we got Hyrule Warriors, 2D Zelda, 3D Zelda, and the Tingle games, which, as far as I know, are European exclusive. Maybe they came to Japan as well.
Probably. All right, are you ready for this?
Never came here, though. Yeah.
I have like 3 pages for Zelda, so let's get into it. So I'm going to start with 3D. Because I don't really have that much to say about 2D. Anyway, starting with 3D, the latest game I played was Breath of the Wild, obviously. Played it for 400 hours, loved every single second of it. Okay, it reinvented this series, but it also was like stayed true to the original format of the first Zelda. So the first Zelda, you're literally just dropped in a map and you explore from there, which is, essentially what you're doing in this game too. But it felt new. It was obviously the first open world Zelda game. That was awesome. The exploration was amazing. And something I really liked is you could make the game like as easy or as hard as you wanted to. Like you could go to the main boss as soon as you got done with like the first opening area, the Great Plateau. That was awesome. The story, the plot, it delivered. It was awesome. very good. What I disliked or was indifferent about, and maybe something I don't necessarily want to see in the next series, is the weapon breaking. It absolutely did not bother me at all in this game. I know it bothered some, but I wouldn't like to see it return in the same way that it is. And then the final boss was a little disappointing. I liked the Sheikah Tech Ganon. I think that was fun, but the second, spoiler alert, I guess if you haven't played it, but the second version of Ganon where he's like, I can't remember what it's called, but he's just like giant mass blob Ganon, pig Ganon. He like stayed still in this giant world. Like, I feel like there was so much missed opportunity. He could have been like running around. I mean, it's a huge world, right? So I don't know. I just felt like it was a little bit of a missed opportunity there. He's also not very difficult at all. Okay. So hold on to your hats.
You really didn't have to power yourself up a whole lot to beat the game.
No, you didn't. Like, the first time I beat the game, I was just kind of exploring Hyrule Castle. And I was like, oh, this is fun. And I accidentally dropped into the boss room, because you can drop into it when climbing. And the cutscene started, and I was like, no! I have like half health and like no items, but I still beat him anyways. So it wasn't the most difficult. But, yeah. It certainly wasn't that easy, though. I mean, there were some hard parts. But, I mean, if you had enough food, you're basically invincible, so. Okay, what I want from the next game in the series, which is either Breath of the Wild 2 or called the sequel to Breath of the Wild, I wanted to answer some of the frickin' questions that it left us with in Breath of the Wild. Like, where the heck does this game take place in the timeline? What is the Forgotten Temple, and who the heck are the Zonai? Like, I'm sure you don't know anything I'm talking about, but many questions.
4 years.
The next thing that I want is more story in the present. Like, I'm sure you remember this. The main story that you're getting is like an Easter egg hunt, right? You're trying to find these memories, and it's all memories from the past.
Right.
And while I did like that, I think it worked for this one based on the way that the story was being told and like the world in general. I don't necessarily think I want it to return. I want more of the story told in the present. Like, I felt like I was watching the game more than like playing the game with the characters.
Yeah.
And then this is something that people want, and I just don't want it, and I don't see why they want it. I don't want multiplayer. I don't want a playable Zelda. That's never something I've wanted. Hyrule Warriors scratched that itch for me.
I've never heard multiplayer be a want. That's crazy.
They want 2-player, like one person plays as Link and one person plays as Zelda, because we've kind of seen that team up in the trailer, but I don't want that. That's never something I've wanted. Like, if you've played any of the multiplayer Zelda games, they're not very good Zelda games. Like, they're fine games, but they're not really Zelda games.
Like Four Swords is what you're talking about?
Yeah, Four Swords Adventure, or Triforce Heroes.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't know. If you want a multiplayer Zelda game, there's games for you. It's not Zelda games. You know? I feel like Hyrule Warriors is definitely where you should be if you want to play with different characters from the Zelda series. That's not something I've wanted. And then I said I didn't dislike the weapon breaking mechanic in Breath of the Wild, but I think they really missed out on an opportunity to, like, for the crafting weapons, or like, you have so many resources. Like, I cannot tell you, like, I have like an infinite amount of resources in my bag from playing Breath of the Wild for so long, but I don't use them for anything. They're just there. Like, unless you're making recipes, and there's just so much they could do. And I think Age of Calamity, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, that just came out, kind of used this mechanic a little bit. Like, when you're playing through the games, you got different weapons of a certain class, and you could, like, use those materials from that weapon to power up your main weapon that you wanted, which I think is fine for that game, but, like, there was just, so many items that were just useless. Unless I want to eat 1,000 apples. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was flint, and there was all those gems and stuff. I think it would be really, really, especially if, like, it's a weapon that you don't want to lose. Like, if it's a, there's like fire blades, or like there's really powerful Lionel weapons. Like, if you want to use it, but you don't want it to break, I feel like you should be able to craft it and make it so it lasts longer or something like that.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
I think that's a missed opportunity. And then, let's see. What do I have here? Okay, so we know Aonuma confirmed that the sequel will take place in the same Hyrule as Breath of the Wild. But that's kind of cause for concern because I don't want to necessarily explore the same Hyrule. So, I think that there should be underwater exploration and more exploration underground. Like, it seems that way anyway, the way that they set it up. Like, that whole sequence, the whole trailer, it seems like it takes place underground. So, I would like to have the same Hyrule, maybe, like, build it up a little bit since everyone's, like, coming back. There's not enough there's not as many monsters. But exploring underwater is something that we've seen in previous Zelda games. Like, it was an Ocarina of Time, for goodness sakes. So I think it was
they could certainly kill it with underwater exploration. That's cool.
And you can see some of, like, if you get the camera angle just right, you can see underwater. It's, like, beautiful. Like, there's all these colorful coral and, like, seaweed and stuff. It's, like, beautiful under there. And Lake Hylia is huge. Could be, like, 7 dungeons in there. That would be awesome. And then there's the ocean out there, which is so much that we didn't get to explore. And then I think it would be really cool to have, like, underground Hyrule, because we know we're going there anyways, to have, like, a lost civilization down there, like one that Hyrule just totally forgot about and was built on top of. I think that would be really awesome. Maybe it'll answer some of those questions that I have. But I think it'd be really fun to explore, like, ruins of everything and, like, learn about the people of the past, because it's been 10,000 years since the first Calamity. Then there was the second Calamity, and then you're playing 100 years after that Calamity. So, I mean, whole lots of things could be lost to time. And then another thing that people want is XP. Like, they want to put an XP gauge in there, like RPGs. I don't want that. I don't want Zelda to move any closer to RPGs than it already is. I like that.
It's right where it needs to be.
It's right where it needs to be. It's action adventure. It's great. I don't want action RPG. It's instead of, like, Link getting better, like him getting stronger, like more health or blah 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 blah. Like an RPG, it's like the player gets better. You know, like they get faster with their movements. Especially in Breath of the Wild. There's, like, dodging and countering and all that stuff. I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily want to... I mean, he gets stronger, obviously. He gets more health and more Stamina. But it's different, because, like, you just have more to waste. You know?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, more enemy variety in the next one. There was, like, 3 main types of enemies. And they were just different colors. Like, yeah, this one's harder than this one, and this one's not as hard as this one. More enemy variety, for sure. But I think they'll probably listen to the fans and give that anyway. Okay, and then now I have story concepts. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Story concept for Breath of the Wild 2. So I guess if this ends up being right, I'm so sorry for any of the spoilers. Okay, so I want a mechanic, kind of like the Skyward Sword mechanic, where you go back in time, like go back to the past and defeat, I guess it was Demise at the time, but you go back and defeat Ganon in this one, like actual, like, form Ganon, like person Ganon. We've already seen this, like weird dried up corpse thing in the Breath of the Wild 2. So, like, how did he become a corpse? Why is he there? Which I assume we're gonna get the answers to. But when you go back in time and try to stop Ganon from 10,000 years ago, like I said, to the first Calamity, you realize that Ganon is actually, like, a victim and not, like, the aggressor. Like, there's some sort of evil entity that's, like, torturing him or, like, manipulating him. And, like, the whole point of the game of Breath of the Wild 2 is to, like, save his soul or, like, to save, like, his humanity or whatever. So the hand that we seen, like, that green floaty hand in the trailer, do you remember that? Okay, so the hand in the game that's holding Ganon down, like, his weird, dried up, nasty form, is actually the hero from the past, and throughout the game, like, he's giving you flashbacks, or, like, he possesses you, and he's giving you flashbacks, but you don't understand them, and you're, like, misinterpreting the message that he's trying to say. Like, I couldn't give you an example, but you think, like, the whole game you play thinking that Ganondorf is, like, the villain, but really something else is like tying him to this world and making him do this stuff. So like with the help of the hand, he gives you some sort of power. You like save Ganon and you like stop the cycle. Because like the cycle repeats because Demise cursed Link and Zelda to always repeat this. To always be reborn and reincarnated. But since we don't know where this game takes place, it could be like so far into the future that it doesn't even affect the other timeline, and then it ends the cycle. So there will no longer be Hero or Zelda or Ganon. It'll just be done. The cycle's ended. Wouldn't that be epic?
I love it, dude. That's so cool.
So yes, that's
I'm
my
watching
story.
the trailer right now since it's been like 2 years.
Yeah, it's good. Trailer, it's got like backwards creepy music. It's really good.
I see why you could assume that Zelda's going to be playable.
See?
A co-op Zelda game here.
I don't want that at all. And then I have some other concepts just for other games in the future. So here's one. It's like a what-if scenario, like inspired by the What If Marvel series. Like, what if Zelda was a hero and Link was like a prince?
Ah, yes, the Philips CDI days.
Yeah. It's reverse. But wouldn't that be fun? It would curve people's appetites for a playable Zelda. They could play Zelda and Link's the poor damsel in distress.
Everybody loves a good female lead.
I agree. And then I guess this could be a pitch for a Hyrule Warrior, since we know those are pretty good at dealing with war stories. So I would like a Hyrule Warriors where it gave us a game before the events of Skyward Sword, where Hylia still walked the earth, and you can see the chosen hero, the first chosen hero before the events of Skyward Sword, deal with Demise and his evil forces. So there's like a giant... I'm sure you're not caught up on the lore, right? So the 3 goddesses created the world, and then they also created Hylia. But at the same time, like when Hylia ruled the earth, I guess she didn't rule, but when she walked the earth, she's like the light goddess, and there's also like Demise, who was like evil, crawled out of the crack in the ground, and he decided that he wanted to take over, and Hylia, I guess, wasn't strong enough to defeat him or something, and she had to like pass her soul down, and that's who Zelda is. She's a reincarnation of Hylia, blah blah blah. But there was a giant war that ensued there. That's why the people from the surface, why Skyloft, which is the place where Skyward Sword takes place, was put into the sky. So I would like to see that war before that happens.
That's not totally unreasonable with the remake coming out.
And then in this one, the hero doesn't even have to be named Link, because technically that hasn't happened yet. Canonically, like Link, the Skyward Sword Link is the first Link. There was just a chosen hero before. So yeah, I think that would be super cool.
Very cool. And I just have to clarify, it's a remaster and not a remake. We did a whole podcast on it, so I can't be messing up right now.
Ugh. What'd you say? Ugh. Oh, cut it out. Okay, and then I have stuff for 2D Zelda too, but it's certainly not as extensive. So, the last 2D Zelda game I played, besides Link's Awakening, because that doesn't really count, was A Link Between Worlds, which is a 3DS title.
Yes.
Liked the game. You could do the dungeons in any order, which was fun. Disliked, though, I didn't like you had to buy or rent your items for every dungeon. That was stupid. I understood why they did it, but I didn't like that mechanic at all.
Yeah, it was kind of strange.
Yeah, it was weird. So the next 2D title, I think 2D Zelda titles really thrive when they have like unique villains that aren't Ganon. Like the Minish Cap had Vati and Phantom Hourglass had Bellum. There's just something about it that I think the 3D titles do better with Ganon and Ganondorf and all of those iterations. But I like to see some unique Zelda villains too, you know? Mix it up a little bit. And then I want a new map. So A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds share the same map. But like some things are different. So I would like a completely different map. A completely new game. Not one that uses the same map from another one. And I also like when the 2D games, or when, I guess just Zelda games in general, take place in a different kingdom or like an alternate dimension, like Majora's Mask, just away from Hyrule. It doesn't always have to take place in Hyrule. And then again, I wouldn't mind if the 2D games kept a more traditional, like, linear experience. I just think, for me, 2D games are better suited with linear games than 3D games.
I don't know if I just suck, but I would struggle in Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds on just, like, figuring out where the heck to go next.
Yeah, I there was some times where I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You're right.
I'm all for linearity.
Linearity is not bad. Certainly not bad. That's all I got, though. That was a lot. I need some water.
I can't believe you're not going to talk about the Tingle games.
Yeah, maybe not have Tingle be like your mascot, because he's creepy. That's all I gotta say.
So, through/Quetzal's Corridors, if you've even heard of this, you have to leave a comment on the YouTube video of this podcast, please. Tamagotchi, we got Trace Memory. So, neither of us talked about Wario or wrote down notes about Wario, but yeah, I mean, there's WarioWare and then there's Wario Land, and then there's been one 3D Wario game, Wario World. I think that a Wario Land game is definitely overdue. I think we could totally see one in the future, but I don't think it's at the top of Nintendo's list right now.
Probably not. It's right below Pikmin. Pikmin 4.
What about Wave Race?
Ugh.
Did you get some water for that one?
Oh, yeah, I did. We're good now. I have a few things to say about Wave Race. Gosh dang it. Wave Race. So many times I've done that. Okay, so the last game I played was Wave Race. It's a rave. That's fine. Loved it. Loved that game. Super nostalgic towards it. It's a 1996 game for Nintendo 64, and even for a game in 1996, the water looked so good. It still looks good. It was the first and only like wave. You can call them jet skis or wave runners like we do. So maybe I have nothing to compare it to, but I super like that game. The courses were fun, and some of them were actually pretty difficult. I went back and I played them recently, and there can be tricky parts of the course if you're going too fast. Like, you really have to know how to play that game.
You have to hit the checkpoints, right?
Yeah.
That's how the game works.
So yeah, the courses are set up so there's like these little flags or like little floating buoys, and they're labeled like left and right. So when you're going through the track, you have to go to the right of the right one or the left of the left one. And if you miss 5, no, I can't remember how many it is. It's either 6 or 5 in a row, like you lose the race. Like you go to the right of a left one, you lose the race. And if you get 5 in a row, like your jet ski goes to like maximum power, and you get like your wave runner goes faster. I like that you could do tricks in the game, and you can like race next to dolphins. That was super fun. And the water would like rise and go down at certain points when you're playing it, which I thought was super fun. So like parts of a track would be open or not open, depending on where the water was. And I don't know if you know this, and I don't know if this is like a secret thing, but it just felt secret when we were doing it when we were younger. There's like, when selecting your jet ski, there's 4 options for like colors, but if you like press a button and like hold the analog stick a certain way, you unlock like 4 different colors, and they're like super pretty colors. I don't know if you knew that.
Didn't know that.
Do you remember that or no?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, secret. So what I want in the next game, I mean, just an updated jet ski game. I mean, it was super duper fun. I want more tricks, maybe be able to like swim on the dolphins. like you can see in like the opening credits. That'd be super fun. I don't know, it was just a fun racer. It was just different. It was on water. That's all I gotta say though, but it was a good game.
There's a GameCube one, right? Blue Storm?
There is a GameCube game one. I haven't played that one. I have not played it.
Maybe you can come back and talk to us after you've played the GameCube one. I thought you were a true fan talking to me.
I know, I'm so sorry. I did find it a Goodwill and I played it, but it didn't have that magic that the first one had. But I didn't play it for very long, so I probably shouldn't speak on it.
I don't think I own the N64 one, but I definitely rented it back in the day, and that's the extent of my experience with the game.
Dude, I had
IP.
like 10 copies. I definitely could have brought you one for free.
Oh, wow. All right, next up, we have, this is funny to me, Wii is an IP. So we have Wii Chess. I don't even think we got that here. We have Wii Fit, Wii Karaoke U, Wii Play, Wii Party, and Wii Sports.
Woohoo.
I think it's safe to say that the Wii anything is dead. We have moved on to Switch now. And moving on, do you know what Wrecking Crew is?
Nope.
I think you do because there's a map in Smash for this game. And this is an NES game. It was actually featuring Mario, and I want to say Luigi was in it too. It's like a puzzle game. It's okay. I've played it. I have it on NES. No, I have it on the Wii Shop channel. Remember that?
Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely. X. I had to look this up. This is some space combat simulator from 1992. It's a Japanese exclusive. Probably not going to see a sequel anytime soon. We got Xenoblade.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to talk about it?
No, because that series is perfection, and I just don't want to mess it up with my opinion.
So I guess two different IPs here, or two different categories under one IP. You have the Xenoblade Chronicles, and then you have Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know if or when Nintendo's going to bring X to the Switch, but everybody's waiting.
Yep. Yes, we are.
Yakuman. It's just Mahjong. It's a Japanese exclusive. And Yoshi. So Yoshi's separated into Yoshi Safari. That's hilarious to me. We have mainline Yoshi series and Yoshi's Cookie. So I don't know why Yoshi's Cookie is classified as an IP. I don't know. I thought the first Yoshi Tetris game was just simply Yoshi, but I could be wrong. Anyways, I know what we're both going to talk about. The mainline Yoshi series. What do you got?
Okay. Latest game I played in the series was Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yes.
What I liked about it, I absolutely love the concept of the world being crafted. I thought the world was absolutely beautiful. Everything in the game looked like it had been crafted by a person. There were bottle caps and clothespins and milk cartons and empty cans, and I love that. I like to think of myself as a crafty person, so that was my game.
Yeah.
The game was really short. It was pretty easy, and it was made even easier by those little cart things that you could wear around your body. You remember what I'm talking about? There's so many different ones of them.
They added defense to you.
Yeah. And this is probably just a personal thing, but it really felt like I was just walking through the level rather than playing it. It was so linear. There was only one place I could go.
Yep, very true.
And then the only main other Yoshi series I can compare it to that's even remotely similar is Yoshi's Story, which I know you just played recently.
Woo.
So in Yoshi's Story, I really liked the way that there was no ending to the level. The way to end the level was to eat a certain amount of fruit, which I thought really made it fun for exploration. You could either go straight to eating all the fruit, or you could explore the world some more and possibly get some unlockables or find a hidden Yoshi, which I thought was also fun. There was also different paths that you could take. You were still going the same direction, but there was you could backtrack here, and you can go here, and you can wake this little baby up, and he can transport you back here. I just felt like there was more to do, more places to go.
There's definitely lots of replayability in that one.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, the game rewards you for exploring. And there was a real penalty for dying. In the beginning of the level, in the beginning of the game, you get to pick from, I can't remember if it's 5 or 6 different Yoshis. But when you die in the level, you can no longer play with that color. There's red, blue, green. You can unlock white and black later on. But if you lose, if you're playing as a green Yoshi and you die, you can no longer play as green Yoshi. He takes it away from you. So there was definitely a penalty for losing. And then I also liked that each Yoshi had its own favorite and lucky fruit. And you can increase your score in that level if you eat a lot of those fruits. I just thought that was something that was super fun. So next game in the series, make it more difficult, make it more explorable. And like I said with like Paper Mario, it doesn't necessarily have to be anything like themed. Like even Yoshi's Story was all over the place. There wasn't necessarily a theme, it was just what it was. You know, there was a fire level, there was a sewer level. It was just whatever you wanted it to be. That's all I got.
We should play Yoshi's Story when you come over.
I love Yoshi's Story. So much.
I only played through it once, so I've got a lot of different paths I can still take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do.
My comments to Yoshi are similar to yours, but you know what I didn't write down is something you said earlier. I think a new game would be pretty good with the old style of having Baby Mario on your back.
Mm-hmm.
The Yoshi's Island. That's probably the route that they should take. I think that would be best. And why do I say that? I think it's because those are probably the highest rated, of all time out of all the Yoshi games. Those are probably the most beloved, and I don't know. I think that's the best way to go, and that's saying something because I loved Woolly World and I enjoyed Crafted World. But anyways, similar to my Kirby comments, I think Crafted World was too easy, the latest game in the series.
Mm-hmm.
I think Woolly World was just right. I had some struggle on some levels in that game, but Crafted World was not up there for me. I think Woolly World was a little better. 2-player in Crafted World was better than Woolly World, though, because in Woolly World, you were constantly fumbling over each other. It was annoying. It wasn't an issue in Crafted World, so that was good. Instead of yarn or arts and crafts, maybe a world of toys. Kind of like we were talking about with Paper Mario earlier.
Toys!
Or just a Yoshi's Island theme. Like, it doesn't have to be any kind of craft or toy or anything. Just a Yoshi's Island is plenty.
Mm-hmm.
And make the campaign longer. Just please make it worth my $60. I think this game was longer than Kirby Star Allies, but it's not really saying much.
Yeah. That's a pretty low bar.
You didn't play Woolly World, did you?
I did not play Woolly World. Mm-mm.
Is yours sealed?
You bet it is. On the Wii U and the 3DS.
Dang, I would tell you to play it, but I don't know. I'm not going to have you open something.
Yeah, man, sealed.
Well, that's it. We've gone through every IP from 1080 Degree to Yoshi. We've gone through every Nintendo IP.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly one of our longer podcasts here. We're at 2.5 hours.
Sheesh.
Obviously I love Nintendo, but in general, from what I've talked about today, the games need to be longer. They need to be worth it, and give me more co-op.
Do not give me any more co-op. Give me a compelling single player, and but certainly longer games and more difficult, or at least give me the option to change the difficulty. That would be great. You're writing that down, Nintendo?
Cool. All right, so overall, please drop a comment and let us know what you want to see in future Nintendo games. Pick a series that we talked about today. I don't care. Just drop a comment. We would love to chat with you guys.
Yeah, get real creative.
Please do. If you want to have your answer to... let me rephrase this. If you want to have your voice featured... Not your voice. What am I trying to say, Hannah? Your response to something we ask featured on the podcast, please keep an eye on Hannah's Instagram and maybe mine occasionally. But why don't you just go ahead and tell people where they can find you to do that, Hannah?
It is Game Girl Vance SP on Instagram.
Yes, it is. I am at Bird Dog Gaming everywhere. Thank you for sticking around for 2.5 hours, guys. Yeah, if this is your first episode, we don't usually go this long. But, yeah, thanks for hanging out. And you got anything else to say, Hannah?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
We look forward to talking about our E3 thoughts in a few weeks. And
ooh, maybe down below drop some E3 predictions?
Yeah, drop something down below for the love of God.
And then if you're right, you might get a shout out.
Oh, that's a good call right there.
Mm-hmm.
What was I about to say, Hannah?
Catch you next week.
Oh, I think on our Instagram stories around June 15th, we're going to be asking you what you thought of E3. So give us some responses there as well. So make sure you're following us on Instagram. That's where we're most active.
Yep, I agree. Definitely Instagram. Always feel free to DM me if you have some thoughts. I'm always down to debate or just discuss.
All right, guys. We will see you next month.
See you.